Hello, brothers. What is up, brothers? It's your dude, International Passport, here again for yet another classic video. Um, First and foremost, brothers, I want to say a huge shout out to all my subscribers. Shout out to the brothers who are on this International Passport movement. This movement will change your life. So shout out to you, brothers. Huge shout out to those who support the channel, by hitting the cash app and the super chats. It means a lot to me. Also, brothers, as we go further in the stream, please hit the like button. That would help push out this video to other brothers who need this. So today we'll be speaking about Ukrainian women. We have a very special guest here today called Jambe Travels. So without any further ado, Jambe Travels, please tell us who you are, brother, where you're from in America, what you do, and why you start traveling in the first place.
All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Junbei Travels. I am originally from Queens, New York. I live in Los Angeles now, from the United States. I'm an actor here in Los Angeles, do commercials, voiceover work, etc. And traveling. I started traveling in the beginning back in 2011. I wanted to, be around different culture, kind of detox from the United States, get away from some negative energy that I was dealing with at the time, a breakup with a girlfriend and a host of other things. And it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And I started traveling to Europe about 10 years ago, and I've been doing it ever since.
Fantastic, bro. And one of those countries is Ukraine. So, brother, without any further ado here, the first question I ask for you, brother, is are women in Ukraine checking heavy for brothers, and why?
I would say yes. Now, my first time in Ukraine actually was this year. So back in July was my first time in Ukraine of this year. And I was there for 3 weeks. And I actually was there again last month because I wanted to go, again for a week and a half and just kind of, get away and just also deal with some cooler weather because it was very, very hot in July over the summertime in Ukraine, but it was a lot of fun. I mean, so basically, that country and other European countries too, they kind of have the same weather as the East Coast of the United States, like hot and humid in the summertime, fall weather, and then, cold and chilly in the wintertime. And the reason why I went to Ukraine is, first of all, it was on my list of places to go because I had never been. I've been to a lot of other Eastern European countries, but I had never been to Ukraine. So that's my thing. I'm always trying to discover a new place to hit up, a new place to go, and see what the vibe is like there, and also the women, which is the icing on the cake, on any trip. See what their vibe was like and their energy was like. But Ukraine during COVID was actually one of the easier countries to travel to as a United States citizen because they weren't as closed off as some of the other European countries. So because 2020 kind of wrecked a lot of my travel plans. Like I wasn't able to go anywhere. I wasn't able to go to Europe all of 2020 because most of Europe was closed off to US citizens traveling there unless it was for business purposes or unless you have like family members or something like that in those nations. So once Europe started to finally open back up, I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the Ukraine, even though Ukraine was one of the few countries that was always open for the most part. It was only shut off to US citizens briefly. So I decided to go to Ukraine, and I had a really good time there.
Okay, so you say that they are checking heavy for brothers.
Yes.
Explain to us how you were treated by Ukrainian women and why they're checking so heavy for brothers. What was your experience with them in terms of attraction, in terms of them giving you play? Break it down for us, brother.
Yeah, I mean, so when I was there in July, man, it was amazing because summertime, the women are feminine anyway, but like the beauty that's over there. So all the stereotypes that you've heard about Ukrainian women being beautiful is so dead on. It's so on point. It's
Oh,
just, it's just so, it's so much, so many beautiful women over there that are so feminine. Like it's crazy. And me being there in the summertime too, it just enhanced the whole situation because women are walking around with dresses on and heels and their summer skirts and all that stuff, and it was great. But like many other European cities, they're interested in black men checking for brothers because there's not a lot of us over there, especially those of us that are from the western part of the world, United States or the UK. So, you'll see some Africans here and there, but when you're a brother from the West, what I'm saying, we kind of have like a different kind of swag, a different vibe, I guess. So it kind of stands out to them. So yeah, I was getting so many like looks and stares and I the first city I went to was Kiev. Kiev is the biggest city in Ukraine, and I had a woman. I was at a sushi restaurant. I met this Russian woman there because there's some Russian women there too, also in Ukraine. But I met this Russian woman at a sushi restaurant that was sitting across the way, and it was a warm day outside, and I kept making eye contact with her, and it's just the women over there, like when they like you, you'll just keep getting these stares from them, and then you just know that they're into like brothers, they're into black men because they won't stop looking at you. You know what I'm saying? So her and I kept making eye contact, and I was like, okay, I'm scheming in my mind. I'm like, okay, I gotta talk to her. So she gets up to go pay. She pays for her food, and she gets up and she goes to the restroom inside the restaurant. And then when she walks out, I look behind me and we make eye contact again, and I signal her to come over. And she sat right down in front of me, and we just started talking. And the great thing about it is she spoke English. Like she spoke great English. So I didn't have to you pull out my Google Translate or anything like that. Because I noticed like a lot of women speak English in Ukraine, but there's a good number of women that don't, or they don't speak it well. And that's one of the big differences I noticed about going to the Ukraine versus like even Poland or even Czech Republic or some of the other Eastern European cities, that there's a good number of women in the Ukraine who don't speak English well. But even still, the younger girls will speak English, decently, but they won't speak it that good. Some do, but a lot don't. So it might take a little bit more effort to communicate. But yeah, the stares, the looks I was getting, from multiple women when I was there, was every indicator that yeah, they're definitely checking for brothers over there.
crazy intel, bro. And brothers, feel free to hit the cash app and super chats as well, brothers, to support the channel. That would be greatly appreciated, brothers. Thank you. John Bay, what cities did you travel to in Ukraine? And break down the order of cities where you got the most play by Ukrainian women. Give it to us, bro.
Absolutely. Okay, so uh, Kiev or Kiev, depending on how you want to pronounce it, that was the first city. That's the biggest city in Ukraine. That would be like the New York City of Ukraine. Okay, so high population, tons of stuff to do, great nightlife, wonderful restaurants, lots of artistic things, museums, a lot of culture. Massive transit system, subway system, anything that you would find in a major city. Tons of women, like any major city, lots of attractive women all over the place. So you as a brother in going to Kiev, you're definitely going to get some play, some action from the women in that city. So Kiev was the first place. Then I took the train, and whenever I'm in a European country, I always like to take trains to different cities. Like it's a fun way to spend a day. It's comforting. You get to see the countryside as you're traveling. In between these cities, and so I took the train all the way from Kiev all the way down south to Odessa. Odessa is another city that has a bunch of Odessa has beaches. There's a bunch of beach towns there. So the vibe in Odessa, oh man, okay. So Kiev,
Oh,
okay, so Kiev, Kiev is your major city. You got major big city like in New York, like a Chicago, but like any big city, like the people are going to be a little bit more hustle and bustle and a little bit more on the colder side. But when I took the train to Odessa, and I was in this, they have their city, their downtown, but it's more laid back and in their beach town and everything. And the women there were so beautiful, man. Like the women in Odessa in July, oh my God, like just so much femininity, like every way you turn, it was like ridiculous. Like you don't see any girls with like jeans on at all. All you see is like dresses and heels and just every feminine aspect that you can think of, right? So the vibe in Odessa was real chill. It's a laid back city. There's some good bars and restaurants, and then they have beaches there. So you have so if you're staying more in this city center in Odessa, because I was at this hotel called the Continental Hotel. It was a pretty nice hotel, kind of like a boutique hotel, but it's very clean, very nice, great staff, nice people, and it was close to everything. I could walk out the hotel and I could walk around to like this one little food court thing that I went to and just go sightseeing stuff. So the beaches that are closer to the city center where all the tourist stuff are, those they have a lot of resort style facilities where you can like chill and lay out and stuff. That's more of the touristy part. But I did a walking tour in Odessa. And then when I was on this walking tour, it was me and like two other girls. And actually, these two girls were from Poland. They were visiting Ukraine for the weekend. So I was hanging out with these two Polish girls. And then the girl who was giving us the tour was from Odessa. She was Ukrainian. So I asked her on the tour, I said, what beach do you go to? Because I wanted to go to a beach where the locals go. I didn't really want to do a touristy kind of thing. So she told me where she goes to the beach, which is around this section called what was it called? I think it was either called 16th Station or 31st Station. It's just basically a street, and it's where more of the locals go to the beach areas. So I had a beach day that was wonderful in Odessa, and spent the whole day at the beach. And there's tons of stuff to do. And then so I spent I think 5 or 6 days in Odessa, and then I took the train back north to Lviv, or as the Russians will call it, they call it Lvov. Lviv is also, I think Lviv is probably my favorite city, just from this a synergy standpoint, just from like the vibe in Lviv is really elegant and charming, and it's big enough but not too big. Like it's not huge like Kiev, but it's big enough, and it has like a nice balance of like charm and excitement and romance, and it's just a great city. There's some really good shopping there, some really good shopping malls, and again, tons of beautiful women in that city. So I have to say, like, that whole country, like, it doesn't really matter what city you're in, like Kiev, Odessa, Lviv, like, the women are just phenomenal, like, everywhere you go. So those are the three cities that I visited in Ukraine. That was in July, and now I was just there a month ago, and I just went to Kiev and Lviv because I was like, okay, there's really no reason for me to go to Odessa, the beach area, because it's cold now. But I wanted to get back and just kind of soak up some fall weather and see the colors and stuff before it got too cold. So I went for like a week and a half last month, and that was great. Also, it was a good time.
Damn. Oh my goodness. Hold on, brother. Shout out to Nate Kelly for the $2 super chat. Thank you, Nate Kelly, for the first support this evening on the super chats. Much appreciated, bro. Thank you so much. I've got a cash app here. Shout out to the brother, Mr. Freeview Fix It, for the £10 cash app for IP bless. Thank you, bro. Mr. Freeview Fix It. Much appreciated, brother. Thank you. Shout out to the legend, Mr. International, for the £1 11 super chat. The female ratio is off the charts, right, brother? Yeah, brother. Speak about the ratio of women to men in Ukraine. Is it a lot more women than men over there, brother?
Um, Probably, I would say so. Maybe 2 to 1, or maybe close to it. I mean, just because. I mean, I guess as a man, that's what you're paying attention to, right? So you're automatically going to see more women. But yeah, there's a lot of women, man. There's a lot of women. And just beauty everywhere, femininity and beauty all the way around. I mean, just when I got to, I mean, especially particularly in Odessa, it seemed like there were way more women in Odessa than men for sure. Because I swear I saw just so many gorgeous girls all over the place, and even the girls who were regular girls, average girls, were done up so well on a feminine aspect that they were interesting to look at.
Damn.
So yeah, so it's Ukraine like takes the cake with the beauty. Like 100, it definitely all those stereotypes and things that I've heard in the past about Ukraine. And I had some friends tease me because when I was posting on Instagram, some of I always post stuff on Instagram when I'm traveling, and I had some friends tease me. Some friends DM me. Some girls that I know that I'm cool with here, they were like, "Oh, you're trying to get one of those mail order brides, aren't you? That's why you're in Ukraine." Because like everybody knows like that those women are beautiful, so it's very true.
Bro, so what city particularly gave you the most play in the whole of Ukraine? Where did you get the most play from the women there in Ukraine? What city specifically?
Mm. Um, it's a toss up. It's a toss up between Kiev and Lviv.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a toss up between those two because and I don't do dating apps too heavy, but I did some Tinder, and when I was in Lviv, and like, man, I met like 3 women off of Tinder, just like that, and we chatted and everything, and I had a date with one of them, and then but Kiev, I was cold approaching in Kiev, and I met women like instantly. So it's a toss up between those two. Like you can't go wrong in either one. But of course, Kiev is going to have more people, so there's going to be more women around because it's just a bigger city, So it's way more densely populated. So you're going to have a lot more options in Kiev just because it's a huge city. But for me, it was a toss up between those two.
Interesting, brother. Um, Break down for us the demographics of women you would come across in Ukraine. So definitely Ukrainian women, definitely Russian women. Any other groups of women there that you saw? Did you see some Asian women? Did you see some black women there in Ukraine? Break it down for us, bro.
I saw a couple of black women. One woman. I mean, I don't. She kind of looked like she was an expat. Like she looked like she could have been like American, but I didn't talk to her or anything. I just saw her like on the train, and but very few black women. You're not going to see many black people. Of course, as always in a lot of European countries, you'll see some African sisters, some African brothers, but not a whole lot. Uh, I did see some Asian women around. I don't know if they were Japanese or Korean, but I did see a few Asian women around also. And then also in Kiev, there's some universities there, so I've definitely seen some different ethnic groups of students. Black, Asian. Uh, I think I even saw a couple of Latino students there, just because it's a university, so there's going to be a lot of international students in a university, but it is mostly Ukrainian and then some Russian.
Okay, thank you, bro. So would you say that the women in Ukraine are feminine, based on what you saw, based on the women that you dated out there and experienced? Were these feminine women? And describe to us what makes them feminine, if they are feminine.
Yeah, these are probably like if I compare it to all countries that I've been to in Europe, these are like the most feminine women that I've ever seen.
Damn.
Yeah. So these women are all about their femininity, big time. I mean, they wear dresses. I mean, especially in the summertime when it was warm, it was like I've never seen so many women walk in the street with like heels and dresses on at once. It's like no jeans, no sweatpants, just like dresses, you know, hair done, makeup done, jewelry, accessories, like just feminine energy at every turn, at every turn. So that makes them feminine. Their demeanor makes them feminine. You know, they're you know, a lot of the women, they have a very calm demeanor when you talk to them, very elegant ways about them. You know, you don't, I didn't see any like ratchet type chicks anywhere. I didn't see any of that kind of stuff. So yeah, man, like the women are like ultimately feminine.
Wonderful to hear. Thank you, bro. Shout out to Pat Do It for the $199 super chat. Always supporting the channel. Appreciate you, Pat. He says EIR. Yeah. I'm not sure what that means, bro. But let me know further in the chat, Pat Do It. But appreciate you supporting the channel. Thank you, bro. Shout out to Pat Do It again for the $199 super chat. European women are the most beautiful. Okay. Opinions. Okay. If that's what you think, bro, you're entitled to your own opinion. I personally disagree. But shout out to Pat Do It for that statement there and for supporting the channel. Shout out to Conrad Grant for the $2 super chat. Always supporting the channel. Shout out IP and guests for stream showing support. Appreciate you showing support, brothers. Brothers, feel free to hit the cash app as well in the super chats. It'll be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Next question for you, bro, is was prostitution a problem there in the city you went to in Ukraine, bro?
No, no, I didn't see any prostitution in Kiev. I mean, because Kiev is a major city, it's a big city. The prostitution thing would seem to be more likely there, but I didn't see anything. Now I do know for a fact that there's some like there's some massage places that kind of do some of that there. I mean, but I didn't engage of any of that. I mean, there's legit massage spots, and then there's also like massage places where some of that prostitution stuff goes on, but it's not like you don't see prostitutes like on the streets. That's a no go on that. So the prostitution that probably exists or that does exist is more like behind closed doors. It's more, you know, fronting as another type of business type of thing, and then there's prostitution, but not an outwardly prostitution situation. And then and that's in Kiev, but in Odessa, I didn't see anything to indicate that at all, which is like that's like the beach town area. I didn't see anything. And in Lviv, I didn't see anything like that at all.
Thank you, brother. While you were in Ukraine, did you see feminism being a problem there amongst the women, brother, or is it non-existent there at all?
No, that's absolutely non-existent. It's non-existent. Like if there were feminists there, like it'd be hard to find one. Like you don't see it. It just doesn't exist. All you see is femininity everywhere. You see elegant, beautiful women going on about their day, like sitting down, having lunch, you know, having coffee. Man, it's like, I was at this one restaurant, man, and like was making eye contact with this one woman, man, and she was so every little nuance, everything she did just looked beautiful. Like even like the way she ate her food. I was just like, you cannot find this kind of femininity in the Western world. It just doesn't exist. So like I just have to accept that and know that this level of femininity, it exists in these type of places. It doesn't exist in the United States. So, but no feminist. I didn't see any feminists or no kind of feminist movements or anything like that. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, thank you, brother. Next question for you, bro. We know that Ukrainian women are good looking. Are they simply the best looking? Are they simply the best good looking girls in the whole of Europe, in your opinion?
Man, it's a tough question. I mean, if we're talking numbers, like when it comes to just the numbers of good looking women, I'm gonna have to say yes. Just because the numbers are that high of good looking women. And you know, and I've been to I love Latvia, I love Estonia, and I love the height of those women in those countries, and Baltic countries, and Poland. You go to Poland, there's a lot of beautiful women in Warsaw, particularly. But Ukraine as a country, in those three cities that I was in, like the beauty that I saw was like mind blowing. So, in my opinion, I'm gonna say yes. Like just
Yeah.
from a number standpoint, it's just tens, 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 tens all over the place, and all different types, man. Like all different body types and everything. Actually, the funny thing is, last month when I was there, and I didn't really get a good chance to talk to this girl, but I was walking to this one coffee shop, and it's a really cool coffee shop. Like they have like well, when I went to the same coffee shop back in July, before they got a little bit more strict with the COVID stuff. Because when I was there a month ago, they started, you had to show your vaccination card everywhere you went and stuff like that, just for these colder months. So they kind of cracked down a little bit. But when I was there in July, I went to this one coffee shop, and this coffee shop had like a DJ in there, and like it was just like tons of women in there. They were like dancing, and I was like, "What is this place?" And I go in there and I order a cappuccino, right? And my 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 silly self, I'm sitting there looking at the dessert window. I'm like staring at like cheesecake slices like an idiot in the dessert window. And it was this girl that was walking behind me that passed me. And I was like, oh my God. Like she walked by me and I just like froze up. I was like, what in the world? I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And so she looked like she knew one of the girls who worked there, because she was like saying goodbye to people. And I had already ordered my coffee, and she was about to get away from me. I was like, oh my God, do I like approach her? But I just paid for my coffee and I'm stuck in this line, and it was crazy. And I just kind of let her go. But like I wish I didn't. I wish I would have just like chased after her, because she was just beautiful. But that was in July. But last month when I was going to the same coffee shop, I saw this girl in the street. And actually, man, this was a black girl that I saw, and I don't know if she was like biracial or whatever, but she was like gorgeous, like gorgeous girl. She was real slim,
Mm,
she was real slim, like brown skin, like curly hair.
yeah.
She kind of had like a young like Diana Ross, Tracy Ellis Ross vibe going on. Like she was so
Oh,
yeah, she was cute, man. Like, and she was smiling. She was on the phone, right? And she was smiling, and like when I walked by, she smiled at me, and I said hello to her. She said hi, and then and then I went to go talk to her, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm on the phone. I'm on an important phone call." And I was like, "It's all good. It's cool." I was like, you're so beautiful. You have great energy." She was like, "Oh, thank you." But she was so open and so friendly. And she was a black girl that was like super cute. I was like, "Damn, that you even got cute black girls over here." I was I was like, this is crazy. I was like, I need to live here. Like, come on. Yeah, man. So yeah, it was some cuties over there, man. Just her energy was just so vibrant and positive. Like you see a certain woman who's like, you can tell she's nice and positive, and she was a dime. She's straight 10 and just beautiful. But she had that whole like Diana Ross, Tracy Ellis Ross thing going on. It was nice.
telling you, brother, man. If black women in the West, right, if they were the most feminine women alive, if they were more feminine, they would simply be the best looking women across the entire world.
Yes.
A
Yes,
lot of black women
absolutely.
are simply good looking. It's just the goddamn attitude and the rudeness that just puts a lot of brothers off. You know,
Yep.
if they
Yep.
change
And
their attitude, they are simply the best looking girls in the entire world. Ain't that right, bro?
that's very true. And but that whole mentality, that it comes from just mental conditioning, man. It's just like this mental conditioning passed down from generation to generation. And I mean, we can go into a lot of reasons why that's the case, and just also mimicking what they see other girls do, because women have a tendency to follow each other. Like whatever is trendy for them, then the rest of them will jump on and start acting the same way. Especially women in the West do that a lot. But yeah, like if a lot of you know sisters here took better care of themselves, and
Hmm.
not saying that some don't, some do. I know some good black women and some good sisters. I got some actually. I would say like my best friends in the world have always been black women. The people that I'm closest to, have always been black women. But just there's so many that just don't realize their potential. And yeah, you're right. Like if they took better care of themselves generally and they had a different mindset, please, it would be no competition.
Thank you, brother. Like, for example, Ruby Rose, right? Female rapper. What on earth is she doing twerking all day, being a fox, right? If she put on some clothes, if she acts more feminine, more womanly, more conservative, this woman will be up there with the most beautiful woman in America. But
Yeah.
always got to be a fox, always got to show your bum out and all that nonsense. And you wonder why men don't respect that, and men see you as a cum dumpster. You know,
Right.
it's just it's crazy, brothers. You
But
know,
see,
you got
here's
beautiful women out there in Ukraine, beautiful black women out there in Ukraine, brothers. Get your passport, brothers, man. God damn. Carry on, Jumbe, man. That pumped me up, bro.
yeah, man. I mean, just like I think it's just that women have, the problem. One of the problems with a lot of women in the Western world, and then a lot of women of color in the Western world is they think that if they're feminine, that represents some sort of weakness, but it's actually quite the opposite. It's like to me, your power is in your femininity, not in you trying to, act like a guy or act like a dude or like try to convince people that you're strong. Like you'll hear people, oh, you just can't deal with me. I'm too strong. I mean, well, I would argue that people who are actually strong don't go around telling people that they're strong. But that's my
Thank you,
opinion.
brother. Much appreciated. Shout out to the brother Evan Yearwood. This brother, right? Let me give him a special props here. He's only joined my channel in the last 2 weeks, and this brother in every stream hits a super chat. So I appreciate you, Evan Yearwood, brother. It means that this channel is getting through to you. So thank you for always supporting this channel since you've joined. It means a lot to me, bro. Thank you. He's donated $999. Planning my next trip. I don't know where to go. Too many options. Yeah, and that's the point of my channel, brothers. The point of my channel is to give you as much options out there that is possible for you to travel to. You know, I want you to have an abundance of options to choose from. The more you have, the better. You know, 50 countries, you got 50 women to pick from. That's what I want for brothers. So shout out to you, Evan Yearwood. It's going to be a hard choice, but I would say Costa Rica, Vancouver, or Japan if possible. Um, or Brazil. Shout out to Albert. Shout out to Royal Albert 40 for the £7.55 cash app. Thank you both for cash apping. Brothers, please feel free to hit the cash apps tonight. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you, brothers. Shout out to um, Black Crest Networks LLC for the $5 super chat. Thank you, bro. I disagree. Ukraine has the most beautiful woman in Europe. My guy ain't been to Norway or Czech Republic, even German chicks too. Ooh, ooh.
Actually, I dated a Norwegian girl. She was beautiful. Yeah, I mean, Norwegian women are gorgeous. So I dated a Norwegian girl back in 2008. She was like tall and beautiful, right? Uh, I've been to Germany. Germany has a lot of beautiful women. So there's a lot of gorgeous women in Germany as well. And Czech Republic's one of my favorite places. Prague, there's gorgeous girls all over. I love Prague. Prague is one of my favorite cities. I've been there multiple times. Love Czech girls. But I'm talking numbers here. I've been to all those places. I'm talking from a number standpoint. The number of attractive tens that you see in Ukraine surpass those places. I've been
Yeah.
to three cities in Ukraine: Kiev, Odessa, and Lviv. From a number standpoint, there's a lot of tens, a lot of highly attractive women in Ukraine. That's a fact.
So, bro, so that means you're saying there's more good-looking women than ugly women in Ukraine. Is that a fact, bro?
That's 100% fact.
God damn.
You see very little. You could barely find any ugly women. It's all they're either tens or they're just average. But even when they're average, they're so feminine that works out for them as well.
Lord have
That
mercy.
that's a straight fact.
Lord have mercy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, brothers. Jeez. Jeez. All right, Jumbe, let me ask you this question, right? I'm actually speechless right now. I'm speechless, brother. I am speechless. This is crazy. Oh my goodness. It'll come back to me later on. It will come back. It will come back.
Okay.
Shout out to Evan Yearwood for the $499 super chat. I appreciate the special shout out. Jay Bones was telling me about Costa Rica too. Yeah, brothers, man. Get out there to Costa Rica. I think that's our spot for educated brothers. So the more educated brothers that go to Costa Rica, the better. So a lot of beautiful women out there. There's intel on Costa Rica on my channel, and brothers will have a great time, particularly American brothers. It's a shame that Taisha was taken. I feel like crying, brothers. But all the best to Taisha and her boyfriend. But she should have been mine. But let me carry on in the live stream. Let me not rustle any feathers here. So next question for you, bro. Did you come across a rich woman in Ukraine?
I don't know. I mean, because the thing about like one of the big differences between like rich people in the West in America, or I've never been to the UK, so maybe you can speak to this in the UK, but in America, like if you're rich, you show it off. You have a tendency to show it off more. Like in America is a very materialistic society. Your car, you're this, you're that. So it's kind of like more outward. But like in Europe, like you might be having to sit down with someone who's a millionaire, but you would never know it because people don't show their wealth like that. It's not really a thing to do, especially like in Central and Eastern Europe. It's like you just like I was watching a documentary about recently actually about the richest people in Germany, right? But a lot of these people that are like super millionaires and super rich in Germany, they go out of their way to not make it known that they're wealthy, right? They go out of because there's some organization that does some magazine publication that makes a list of the wealthiest people in Germany every year. And a lot of rich people that are in Germany, they're very covert. They don't want to be on this list. They don't want people to know that they're rich. And so literally you can have someone who's just simply riding their bike around town and they might be a millionaire. You would never know it. So it's culturally it's like that in those countries. So I'm not sure if I've ran across any wealthy women, but possibly just because I like to mix it up when I go out and stuff. Like if I go to certain hotel bars or restaurants, sometimes I'll go to like really high end places if I want to treat myself, and then other times I'll go to more normal places. So when I'm in the high end places, you sit down and you meet and you talk to different women. I'm sure some of these women are very well to do, but it doesn't make a difference. Like they're so nice and they're so inviting that it doesn't matter. They don't care about your status, or they're not asking you about your status. That's one of the big differences between a lot of European culture and European women and Western culture is in America, especially here in cities like LA, where it's like you meet a girl, one of the first things she asks you is, so what do you do? What do you do? It's always like, what do you do? What do you do? It's almost like immediately they're trying to gauge what your status is. But in certain European culture, it's actually rude to ask somebody what they do right away, right? So that's one of the major differences there.
Thank you, bro. Did you come across jealousy against you and other black men? Did you feel any sort of animosity from Ukrainian men or even Ukrainian women when they saw you walking with Ukrainian women? Did you feel any fear? No, not at all.
No, that doesn't exist whatsoever. Zero. Zero. Yeah, never. Okay. I didn't get any inclination of that whatsoever.
Oh, okay. That's surprising because Eastern Europe, there's a lot of stereotypes about them being racist, towards black people, particularly men.
But see, here's the thing, though, man. Like, and this is one thing that I have to kind of like try to make clear. It's like people need to stop acting like, and how do I say this delicately? Okay, racism in America, right, is unmatched. like America's history and racism towards people of color in America is like nothing the world's ever seen before. Like it's a completely different level. People need to stop acting like, Caucasian people in European countries are just like the ones in America. That is not the case. That is not a thing. So sure, there's racism probably in other countries and probably certain parts of Eastern Europe, but as it pertains to being a black man from the West, it doesn't really necessarily apply. Sure, now I've heard stories about perhaps they have some sort of racism or prejudice towards people who are Muslim or who look Muslim. I've heard that, or maybe there's certain kind of attitudes towards like certain Africans that they might look down on if they carry themselves a certain way or whatever, right? But I have never experienced any sort of like racism as a Westerner black man going into an Eastern European country. So a lot of people who say these things, they actually don't know what they're talking about because they've never been. You know, they just kind of like think that something is a certain way with no experience. So I think you have to like take things with a grain of salt and be very careful about, you know, who we listen to when it comes to these type of things.
Okay, thank you, brother. Next question for you, bro, is let's see, body count. Do you feel like Ukrainian women have high body counts, especially the ones you've dealt with, or are these women or can you find virgins in Ukraine, and can you find low body count women in Ukraine? And speak on that, brother.
From my assessment and the two times I've been there, like in July and just a month ago when I was there, I would say that the women's body count is like your average woman's body count is probably very low. Um, from what I gather, the women there seem to be a lot more selective in the men that they're going to be intimate with,
Mm.
right? And so it seems to be more of like the women in particular seem to be more on like building a romance with one particular guy. It kind of seems like that's what they would be more into, just based on their energy and what I gather. So, you know, again, that's not a question that I ever ask, but because I wouldn't even know how to go about asking a woman such a question. It was, I think, like whatever number she would give me, I'd be like, oh my God, how dare you sleep with 3 people, right? But no, I don't think the women have a high body count there.
What would you define as a low body count? You know, or what's the minimum? What's the minimum, the threshold that is a low body count? Is it 5 or less? Is it four or less? I want to know your thoughts about that, John B.
I mean, I guess it would depend on the age of the woman we're talking about. So I think it would vary on that, and then it would also depend on, you know, if she was married before or whatever. But I mean,
Let's say she's 21. What would be the threshold as to that you feel it would be a low body count for her age? Is it 5 or less? Is it 4 or less?
I would if she's 21, I would hope that it's 5 or less.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest with you, like if she's 21, which is basically a damn kid, I would hope that it's 5 or less.
Damn.
You know, but I mean, you know, like, you know, I have I have like a radar for that kind of stuff, because a lot of times like women will tell you without telling you. You know, they tell you without telling you. Like they talk about certain things, they say certain things without saying it. You can kind of assess what the body count is. Like I had a girl here in LA, you know, a friend of mine, who I was cool with her, and her we never like went all the way. Even though we came close, but you know, I'd make out with her sometimes. But we're both foodies. Like we love good food. We would go to restaurants, we hang out, have drinks. I was friends with this girl for years, and like I always felt like her body count was super high, which is why I never took it any further. You know what I'm saying? Because just based on stuff we would talk about and the past and everything like that, I was like, I could never really take her seriously as a girlfriend because I know her body count is like too high. Right. So that and then the funny thing about it too, man, is like the last time I saw her was like it's going on 3 years, right? But like I kind of had to cut her off because the last time I was on a date with her, I took her out to this Jamaican restaurant. Then we went out to Santa Monica and had drinks. And I was actually considering, because so usually when I go to Europe, I go by myself. I travel alone. But I was actually considering taking her to Europe with me. I was actually going to go to Latvia and I was going to take her with me, right? Because she had just got her passport and she'd never been out the country. I never told her this, but I was, kind of feeling it out. But based on that last date, her behavior and the stuff that she was doing and how disrespectful she was on that last date, I had to cut her off. So I was like, thank God I didn't take her anywhere. Thank goodness.
Someone in the chat said if a girl has an IG, expects a very high body count. That can't be right. No, I disagree with that. Do you agree or disagree with that?
If she just has an IG, no, that doesn't mean it's like, geez, that means we can't date anybody. Like, are you kidding? Like the whole world is just off.
I'm thinking all the girls I'm speaking to right now, I can't date them anymore because they got IGs. I'm thinking, what?
I mean, if that's the case, you might as well just go get your blow up doll now. Like, oh my God.
Yo, brothers, man. That's crazy. That's some crazy talk there. She has an IG, she has a high body count. I don't know about that, brothers, man. I don't know about that. God damn it, man. I thought I was taking it too far, but IG now, damn. But I don't know, man. But OnlyFans, yeah, I agree. But IG, I don't know about that, brothers. Thank you, Jimbe. Would you consider Ukrainian women wifeable, and why? Why would you consider them to be wifeable women? What makes them wifeable in your opinion, if so?
Oh yeah. I would consider them highly wifeable. I mean, they're beautiful, very, very feminine, very much into their womanhood and being womanly. They're loyal in relationship situations. I mean, I met a woman who she's divorced, but she she was kind of telling me her whole story, and again, like they seem to be very selective in the men that they're going to go further with. So that trait would make them wifeable as well, because they're not going to want to throw it away by doing anything stupid, because they're very selective. But yeah, they seem to have all morality, take care of the family, children. Oh man, okay, last month, man, going back to the tall women thing, just for a second. Last month when I was in Lviv, and I was like on my cell phone, and I was in the mall, and I saw this gorgeous, beautiful, super tall model looking Ukrainian chick, and she had 2 kids, and she was like unbelievably beautiful. I mean, like beyond a 10. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, I was thinking to myself, like, imagine being married to a woman like this, who's like that feminine, that beautiful, and you end up having like a family with a woman like that. I'm like, wow, that would be great. So
Damn.
yeah, I think they would be very wifeable.
Damn. Thanks for that, brother. As you brothers can see in the screen, hit the like button or the singing starts. The likes are too low, brothers. So if you don't want me to start singing, can we please get the likes up, or I will start singing. Eminem, maybe some Kanye West as well. So brothers, if you don't want me to start singing, please hit the like button. So I'm going to give you brothers 5 minutes to get the likes up to around 80. If that's still low, I'm going to start singing, and I might sing some Kanye West this time, or maybe some Isaac Hayes. But brothers, please get the likes up. Okay, brothers, thank you. So next question for you, brothers, is are they conservative, brother, or are they liberal in terms of how they live? Break it down for us, bro.
I would say conservative from maybe a faith standpoint, because there's some religious people that have a lot of faith there. I think it's Catholic, and so conservative from a family values, moral standpoint, and then but liberal when it comes to socializing, having a good time, and just in that way. But so a mixture of both. But I would say the women are probably more conservative than they are liberal in that country.
Thank you, bro. Shout out to Captain Cisco for the $5 super chat. Thank you, bro. Can a black man in early 40s marry Ukrainian woman in her 20s? Speak on that, Jumbe.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing about like one thing I noticed about it seems like women in Eastern Europe and Ukraine and some other countries too. It's like a girl in her 20s in like maybe Ukraine or Poland or Estonia or Latvia is not the same thing as like a girl in her 20s in America. It's like those girls who are in their 20s over there, they seem to just they got their femininity together. They seem to have a more of like a mature demeanor overall. So I think that will mesh well with a guy who's in his 40s. Matter of fact, actually, back in July, before I went to the Ukraine, I actually met a Ukrainian woman here in Los Angeles, and she was like, God, she was probably like in her late 40s or 50s or something, but she was married, husband and daughter. And then we were talking. At first I thought she was from like Poland or something because of her accent. And she was like, "Oh, I'm from Ukraine." And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to the Ukraine for vacation in a few weeks." She was like, "Really?" She was like, "Really? Like, why?" I was like, "Well, because I just like to travel different places, and it's one of the Eastern European countries I haven't been to." She was like, and she told me, she was like, "Oh, there's a lot of beautiful women in Ukraine." Like she even said it herself, right? I was like, "Yeah, no, I've heard." But it didn't like the conversation was just a general conversation, but then she kept talking about her daughter, and her daughter is like young, like 21, 22. And she kept trying to like, she was showing me pictures of her daughter. She's like, "See my daughter, isn't my daughter beautiful?" Da, 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 da. So it's almost like, and I told her how old I was, right? And I was like, it's almost like she was trying to like pair me up with her daughter or trying to get me to introduce me to her daughter or something like that. I just thought that was funny. And also she was a very religious woman, because she actually invited me to, like, she was like, "Oh, well, would you, if I invited you to come to our church, would you come?" And I kind of thought, I was like, it's kind of not really my thing. I can't really commit to that, but she was fine about it. But so yeah, to answer that question, yeah, I think, if you're a man in your 40s, you can go, you'll be able to find a woman who's younger in Ukraine, and it would be a good match.
Thank you, bro. Shout out to Limo Pedro for the £2 super chat. Thank you, Limo. Ukrainian women are beautiful. How are you, IP? I'm good, brother. How are you, Limo Pedro? Another UK brother in the chat. Call in one day, Limo. We'd love to hear a UK brother chime in on one of my live streams, bro. Much appreciated, Limo. Thank you. Brothers, like I said, brothers, hit the like button, brothers. And of course, please hit the Cash App as well. And hit the super chats as well, brothers, to support the channel and the movement. It will be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much, brothers. You're awesome. Next question for you, brother, is religion. What religion are Ukrainian women? Are they mostly will a good amount of women you meet in Ukraine be Christian, Catholic, or are they Muslim? What religion do they practice there in Ukraine, bro?
I think it's probably more like Orthodox, or it's more like Christian Orthodox or Catholic or something like that. And then actually, the other thing I should bring up too is actually there's a lot of Turkish in Ukraine. Also, there's a lot of Turkish people. So there are some Muslims in Ukraine, because there's a big Turkish community. And I've met some people from Turkey there, and they were excellent. They were great people, really really nice. But yeah, so Orthodox Christian or Orthodox, I don't know what you would call it. I don't know if it's Orthodox like how it's or and then Muslim, like the Turkish people there would be, I guess they would be more on the Muslim side.
Okay, thank you, brother. Next question for you, Jinbei, is let's go. Social media. Was that a problem when you went to Ukraine this year? Did social media gas up the heads of the beautiful Ukrainian women? Did they have an army of simps, buying her hair and her underwear for a bunch of money? or you know, how what was social media like? Is it a problem amongst young women?
I don't think it's a problem. I mean, I know I've seen a couple of Ukrainian girls with social media, and similar to the West, they post stuff and have their photos up and stuff, sexy photos and stuff, but they won't have nearly as many followers. You know, you might have like a girl over there who's a dime, a 10, with like 400 followers. Like, as where here you have one. I don't know. I don't know if these chicks be paying for followers or what, but somebody here will have like 25,000 followers. Um, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know if I paid attention enough to social media over there, just because that's not a focal point of mine, especially when I'm traveling. Like when I'm traveling, I like to just be out there and just meet women face to face and have real life human contact. So I don't spend too much time on social media except my own page where I'm just posting travel videos and travel photos. But I don't. Nothing is worse than the West. Like nothing's worse than social media in America. Like America takes the cake when it comes all the ratchet stuff.
Thank you, bro. Next question for you, bro, is hmm, do you believe Ukrainian women are submissive? You know, and if you agree, why? What makes them submissive? What do they do that makes them submissive? Do they listen to your every command? You know, do they clean the house? Are they womanly? Speak on that, brother. Are they submissive?
Yes, yeah, they're absolutely submissive. They're women, and they love being women. They love being in their natural state. They're not trying to be the man in a situation. So a man that's in a relationship with them or any sort of romance with them, they're going to follow the man's lead. I mean, that's just in their nature. Culturally, it's what how they were brought up. I mean, which is obvious when you go there and you see it, you can feel it. You can observe it for yourself. And then, actually, the woman that I met at that sushi place in Kiev, she actually invited me back to her place a few days later for dinner. So she was very submissive and very hospitable to me, and like very sweet and everything. And this is the crazy thing about it. So she was really attractive. This woman, she was like blonde, beautiful eyes, attractive woman. Okay, so I felt kind of bad just even thinking like this. So I go to her apartment, and she has there's another woman that lives with her, and the other woman has like a young child, so they're like roommates. And it was like a huge apartment that she has in Kiev, so they have plenty of space. But the chick that she lives with, man, was even more hot than her. And I was like, oh my, like I went over there, I was like, oh my God. Like she was like, I had to be really careful because I was like, I can't stare at her too much and look at her too much, because she was like strikingly beautiful. Like she had like long dark hair. Her eyes were like piercing blue eyes. Like she had like really strong like Celtic features, like her nose, her mouth, everything. Like I was like, oh my, like, and she was so sweet, like so humble, like, and she didn't speak English that well. She spoke some English, but she was just so feminine and so nice. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, a woman that would, she looks better. She's like beyond the beauty of a woman in this country with the attitude, you know, of like this really sweet person. And now if she was a woman from the West, like her demeanor would be completely different.
Hmm.
Right. And that's just one of the key differences. It's like you have these gorgeous women over there, right, who act so humble. They act so nice and so sweet. So it's just it was refreshing. But yeah, like the women, they were very, very submissive, very nice over there.
Thank you, brother. Um, you know, clubs and bars. Did you frequent clubs and bars during your time in Ukraine? If so, was that a good experience for you, brother? Did you meet women via clubs and bars? And last but not least, do you recommend any specific clubs and bars where that the names of it that your brothers can go to when they go to Ukraine?
So I never went to any actual clubs, but what I went to like a lot of bars and lounges that have like dance floors and stuff. But I never bothered with the clubs because I did when I was there. I never felt the need to. Like there were ways to meet women outside of the club. You know, because there's so many beautiful women over there. So I never did
Sorry,
the club.
brother. Sorry, bro. Corey Levine and Corey J, can you both remove your comments, please? Let's not bring those people in this conversation. You know, we don't want to hear about them. This isn't for them. This is about straight brothers going after straight women. That's it. You know, we don't want to know about that kind of stuff. Okay, cool. Can you please remove your comments there in the next few seconds? If not, I'm going to time you both out because I don't want to hear that nonsense, man. Let's not on the live stream chat. No, we don't want to hear that at all. Carry on, Jambe.
Yeah, so I didn't do clubs, but I just did a lot of bars and lounges and like Kiev. I can't remember the names of the places, but yeah, you can meet women in these places, and they're very receptive. Easy conversation, you know. Same thing like Odessa. When I was in Odessa, actually, when I was in Odessa, okay, so when I went down there, I went to this one bar. I wish I can find the name of it. I'll look for the name of it. And maybe I'll be able to give it to you a little later. But I found it on Google and it had good reviews. And I went there and it was great. It was packed with people. Cool bar, really hip, chic bar. The drinks were excellent. And there were a lot of friendly women there. Like I was chatting up one girl at the bar when I was waiting for my drink, and she was just very, very open. And she was like, "Oh, where you from?" I'm from the United States. So yeah, clubs and bars are a good spot to meet women. I mean, of course, you know, women are going to be a lot more loose, you know, a lot more open when everyone's having a good time. Had a few drinks. It's a good spot. But when I was in Odessa, and when I had my beach day, I took an Uber down to this one beach where the day before my tour guide suggested that I go, where more locals go, and I'm just walking the boardwalk area, just walking the strip, trying to select a place to go to, and I found one place that looked really nice that had like a bar on the beach, and they had the chairs that you could rent with the umbrellas and sit on the sand and everything. So that's what I did. I went and let me tell you how inexpensive, how cheap it is in Ukraine. That's another thing. Ukraine is so cheap. So I go and I rent the chair and the towel and the umbrella, and they set it up for you and everything. That rental cost me like $2, right? So the guy set it up, and then I had the waitress came over. I ordered an entire bottle of champagne for myself. I ordered shrimp appetizers and some salad, and I think I paid for the whole day. I paid like maybe $40. It was nothing,
Damn.
right? So cheap over there. Like really, really, your money really goes far. So it was a good time, but there were a lot of women around. You know, there was like a group of girls behind me they were like kind of having a little party. So I was chatting with them. There were a couple of women sitting that came later. They started sitting next to me. I was talking to them. Like one of them was from Italy. The other one was visiting her friend who is Ukrainian. So I was talking to them. So you can meet if you go to the beach in Odessa, particularly, you'll meet women like easily because there's going to be tons of women out at the beach, and you can meet women at any bar situation or any beach situation. So yeah, clubs, bars are a good way to meet women, but then you can cold approach. You can meet women in coffee shops. I mean, there's so many women around. It's not a difficulty.
Thank you, brother. Next question is, should brothers do they know English or do we have to learn Russian? I think they speak Ukrainian and Russian there. Do we
Yeah,
have to learn Ukrainian and Russian, or is English okay for brothers to do well there?
you're fine with English, but I would suggest that if you can learn some Russian or some Ukrainian, you'll be even in better position because I did notice that in Ukraine there are a lot of people that don't speak English. Actually, I would say most people that I've come in contact with in the big city, especially like Kiev and Lviv, speak English. Most people, yeah, they're going to speak English, but some people may not speak English that well. or they might not speak English at all. Like for example, in Lviv, like here in LA, I've gotten back into doing yoga. So I've been doing yoga here. So I found a yoga studio when I was in Ukraine. I went to yoga when I was there in July, and I went back again to the same studio when I was there a month ago. And one of the instructors at the yoga studio, speaks no English. So everything is in Ukrainian. So I had to kind of like make sure I look at her and follow along with her movements, you know, in order to get through the class. So there are quite a few people who may not speak English, but it's usually people that are like maybe like, mid 40s and up, or 50s, that may not speak any English. But most younger people speak English, but some of them may not even speak it that well, or they might struggle with it a little bit, or you'll be talking to them in English and they may look down at their phone to find out what they're trying to say in English, So I noticed the difference between even that in Poland, where in Poland more people speak English, or Estonia more people speak English, but Ukraine, it's a little different. Like you're going to run into more people who don't speak English so much, or not as well. But you could still get through. You could still communicate. You could still have a great time. You're not going to have any major issues.
Thanks for that, brother. Brothers, feel free to hit the Cash App and the Super Chat as well to support the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. We're dropping gems here to help you brothers navigate Ukraine when you go there in the future. So support the channel for the Cash App and Super Chat. Will be greatly appreciated. Thank you, brothers. Next question for you, Jumbe, is what are the best places in Ukraine to meet women randomly? You said coffee shops. You said clubs and bars. Anything else? What about parks? What about museums? What about gyms? Speak of that, brother.
All of the above. Gyms. Oh, and let me just tell you about the gyms in Ukraine. Okay. If you really want to see some attractive women, they are at the gyms in Ukraine.
Damn.
Okay, because they take like the working out seriously over there. So women that are into their fitness, you're going to see the highest end women in the gyms. And the other crazy thing about the gyms in Ukraine, and this is one of the interesting things about this country, because while Ukraine is very cheap, very inexpensive, there'll be certain things or certain services that'll actually be like either the equivalent price of America or the UK, or more. And a lot of it has to do with like their tax system, or taxes, things they get taxed on. But like, for example, like tennis shoes. The last thing that you want to buy in Ukraine is a pair of Nikes or a pair of any kind of tennis shoes, because unless they're a European brand, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be paying like double what you would pay in America.
Damn.
And it's because of taxes. Certain items will be taxed very high. Because when I was just there a month ago, I have a pair of Nike Air Max, right? And I was in a mall, and I saw the exact same pair of Air Max that I had on my feet. And then I did the currency conversion to see how much these were, and they were like over double the amount that I paid for mine here in the States. And so I went up to the girl. I was like, why are these so expensive here? And she broke it down for me. She was like, yeah, it's because of taxes. She was like, that's because a lot of people from Ukraine they'll go to Poland to buy shoes because they're cheaper in Poland, because they get taxed very high. What was the question? I lost my train of thought already. What did you say? What was the question?
I asked you best places to meet women in Ukraine. You said gym.
So gym is a good one, because there's a lot of really attractive women in the gyms, and the gyms there are expensive. So the people that go to the gym, they're probably more people with money, and they're more like high end chicks at the gym. Like, because I went to one gym because I was trying to get like a pass for like a couple of weeks, but they don't sell their passes like that. Like I would have to pay for like a whole month or like a whole year. And the woman that was like giving me the information was like smoking hot, man. Like she was tall, she was so fit, she was beautiful. And I looked inside the gym, and it was just so many attractive women in the gym. So the gym is one. coffee shops, you know, during the day, if you're doing any like kind of sightseeing, like, you know, museums, cathedrals, like, because people during the day, they take walks in the park, you know, they take walks along like the river there. They go to museums, they do cultural things. And there's women in all these places. There's women to meet everywhere you go, and there's beautiful women all over the place. So yeah, a park, a gym, a coffee shop. It doesn't have to be nightlife. It can be pretty much anywhere you go, you know, a restaurant, bar, whatever. There's
Thank
plenty of
you.
women. Yeah.
Thank you, bro. We got Mr. Theo WAF in the building right now. What is up, Theo? I heard that the IT and passport conference was a huge success, brother. Um, what is up, brother? How's it going right there, bro? Theo, what's up, bro? Damn, Theo's in the building, the legend, Mr. Theo WAF. Everyone say hello to Theo. Theo's a legend in this space. You know, he's contributed to this whole movement for many years now. Let's give him his props. He's right now. He's out there in the Manosphere meetup out there in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, he set up himself, put his own money up, and we respect that. Shout out to you, Theo, man, and I hope to speak to you very soon about how it went. But I'm hearing it's going very well so far. So props to you, brother. Godspeed, bro. Wonderful to hear, brother. What's up, Theo? Um, so next question, Jimbe. I'm calling Theo if you have time as well, and if you can show us the conference room if possible. We see you, Theo. That's a legend right there, Theo. Um, let's go, brother. Online dating. Did you use that at all? You said you used Tinder, and was that successful for you, wasn't it, bro?
Yeah. Yeah. I used Tinder when I was in Lviv and a little bit in Odessa. I matched with a lot of women in Lviv, especially, and I actually had a date with one woman, and I had like a video chat with another woman in Lviv, and the reason why we couldn't meet up because the one woman I had a video chat with is she lived in a smaller city outside of Lviv, maybe like 30 minutes away. And then she had some family stuff she had to deal with that week, so we were never able to meet up. But when we were on the video chat, she was like showing me like her body. I mean, she didn't take her clothes off or anything, but she was like just showing me like how she looked. She wanted me to see her whole body and everything. And I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. And she didn't speak any English, so everything I had to like translate everything, but she was still interested. You know what I'm saying? We still had like a nice little like exchange. But yeah, the dating app, I mean, and I don't really do dating apps much. It's just if I'm in Europe, I'll hop on Tinder, you know, just to see what's popping. If I decide to go out on a date with a certain woman who I think is interesting, I'll do it. But yeah, but you'll match up so easily in those countries as a brother in that country easily. So
Thank,
you'll have no problem matching up with someone.
thank you, brother. Shout out to Mr. Theo WAF for the 49.99 super chat. Sharpshooter. Thank you so much, Theo, for supporting the channel, brother. Almost $50 there, bro. It's essentially $50, bro. I appreciate you, Theo, a lot. Thank you, Theo, man. It means a lot to me, brother. Thank you so much, bro, for hitting it for supporting the channel all the time, for encouraging brothers to do well in IT and cloud in AWS, brother. It's being I speak to brothers every day. They thank you every day, Theo, through me. So Theo, you are a legend in this space, brother. Thank you, Theo. He says hello. I'm teaching brothers how to use a passport tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. This is the way. Thank you, IP, for your channel. Hey, no problem, Theo, man. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you for the kind words, Theo. This channel is for brothers. I'm telling you, man, it's for straight thinking black men to get out there and make great moves. Find your dime foreign woman, become rich and wealthy, live great lives, and go on forth. This channel is for you, brother. So shout out to you, Theo, man. You are welcome in this channel anytime, bro. And I'm looking forward to speaking to you very soon, Theo. You're a legend, brother. Thank you, Theo. Much appreciated, bro. Um, Shout out to Joshua Epps, who I believe is out there in the Manosphere meetup as well. Thank you, bro, for donating $499. Theo is holding it down over here, IP. Great to hear, bro. Great to hear. You know, I always believed in Theo, man. I always believed in Theo. I always knew Theo could do it, man. I love it to hear that Theo is holding it down over there in Atlanta, Georgia. You're a legend, bro. You're a legend, Theo. And shout out to Joshua Epps, man. You're a legend too, bro. Always supporting the channel means a lot to me, bro. Thank you, Theo. And thank you, Joshua. Next question for you, Jinbei, is STDs and STIs. Was that a problem when you went to Ukraine amongst the locals? Did you hear anything bad? Did you do your research there? Did you strap up when you smashed some Ukrainian chicks, bro? Let us know. Was that a problem, brother?
Well, I mean, I always strap up in every situation, but I mean that would be a wise thing to do. But no, I haven't done any research on that, on STDs, STIs, or anything like that. But I didn't hear anything like that, through word of mouth or through any people or any sort of any negative thing about, oh, these people have STDs or whatever, what have you. I mean, I'm sure there's a certain percentage of it that's out there, but I didn't hear anything like that.
Okay, thanks for that, bro. Next question for you, brother, is let's see. Done with that. Are Ukrainian women materialistic like American women? Do they expect you to buy Gucci, Prada, Armani, Savant Saint Laurent for these women, or are they okay, in having the normal things in life? Break it down for us, bro.
No, I don't think they're materialistic. I think that I don't think they would expect a man to have to spend so much money on those such items. I mean, the women there dress well. They look good. They look high end all the time. But I think like culturally, that's just what's going on with them just naturally. I don't think that they're materialistic. I'm sure like if you're in a relationship with a Ukrainian woman, like she'll probably want you to spend your money on a more wise thing than to spend thousands of dollars on a purse. Like I don't really see that being a thing. Now I'm sure that there's probably some materialistic women out there in that country, because you always you hear these stories about, oh, certain Russian women and certain Ukrainian women, they just want the bag, or they just want money, or they just want a green card, or this, that, and the other. But I would say that most of the women there, they just want a decent guy who is going to treat them with respect and be romantic and stuff like that. So I wouldn't categorize those women as being materialistic.
Thank you, brother. Next question for you, bro. So I'm hearing all the good parts about Ukrainian women. Tell us the bad parts about Ukrainian women that brothers should be aware of, bro. I think that should be interesting.
Okay. Okay. I think that if you want to interpret this as bad, if they like you like right away, or they could get like super 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 clingy like immediately. Because the woman that I met at the sushi restaurant, like I met up with her again like a month ago, and like the vibe just wasn't the same. Like for some reason, like I wasn't as interested in her anymore. Like it just wasn't the same vibe. And like but ever since then, so we met up at a mall, and we had coffee and stuff, and we were talking, and I don't know, it something was just different. So then I ended up leaving, and I ended up going back to my hotel, and then she sent me like this long paragraph message on WhatsApp, right? And she was like, oh, I need I want to be in love and blah 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 blah. She's just like all in her emotions and all over the place, and like in so many words, she basically told me that, okay, well, you're going to meet a better woman and this, that, and the other. And so she worded it like, okay, she's going to move on, right? So it's over with, right? I tell you, she has not stopped messaging me ever since. Like she just keeps sending like random messages, and it's getting a little like weird now. So I don't know if it's just her, or if there's a lot of women like that in Ukraine, but she got very, very like clingy, like almost on like some falling in love type stuff, like really fast. And we were never like intimate. So I don't even understand what that's about. But that's the only bad thing, if you want to call that bad, that I'm aware of.
Interesting. Brothers, put one in the chat, right? Write one in the chat if you like clingy women, right? So you meet a woman and it goes well, and then she's already attached to you very closely. or put a 2 in the chat if you don't, or if you like women that keep their spaces, who are quite cold but not too cold. I want to know what brothers think about clingy women. So I think if she's clingy, that might be a good thing. But obviously we all think differently. It means that she's going to be there for you. She puts you first. She would actually listen to you. She won't disrespect you because she's very clingy towards you. So I know Jumbe, he's a boss brother. So he's not into clingy woman. He's like, keep away from me, woman. I know. But it's all good, bro. Sai Chi, please, no capital letters, man. Please, no capital letters, brothers. But welcome, Sai Chi. Long time no see, brother. Shout out to Captain Cisco for the $5 super chat. These new Ukrainian dating agencies are trying to get men in their 40s and 50s to date women the same age and baby mama. That's sad. If you're in your 40s and 50s, you should go for a woman in their 20s and 30s. No, don't be going for a woman your age. No, we don't practice that on my channel. In my opinion, go for a woman in early 20s, mid 20s. The younger she is, especially in that 2021, low body counts, less likely to be a full-on thought because she's not in her 30s when she's riding CC and is now looking for a man to simp for and date. We don't date women in their 30s, and I hope brothers aren't doing that. I want brothers to go after women in their 20s. What, isn't that right, bro? Jumbe, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, it's as ideal if you're trying to start a family and stuff. Like if you want the woman, if she's going to be fertile and all that stuff. Like if your goal is to have children and build a foundation, build a relationship with this woman, then yeah, you're gonna want someone in their 20s and 30s for sure, with less baggage.
Yes, indeed. So take that advice, Captain Cisco. So if some agency comes up to you, says we got women in their 40s and 50s, tell them to F off. All right. Thank you, bro. Now, next question for you, Jumbe. We've got around 4 more questions. Cold approaching. Did you do cold approaching in Ukraine? If so, what was your success rate in cold approaching? How did you go about cold approaching? What did you say? How did you actually break the ice? And did you look for signals, or did you just see a beautiful woman and approach her out of the blue? And last but not least, brother, were you approached by Ukrainian women as well? So break it down for us, brother.
Yeah, so cold approaching, that's pretty much like all I do, to be honest with you. I do that like 90% of the time is cold approaching, and maybe probably not even 10% is online stuff. I don't have the patience for online dating. I just rather meet people in real life. So cold approaching for me, like, it's exciting, and there's different ways to go about it, because you could be at a restaurant like I was with the woman I met at the sushi restaurant. You could be making eye contact with the woman. So I signaled her to come over to sit with me when she was leaving, and she did just that. So that's one form of cold approaching. My success rate in Ukraine was like, I would say 90% success rate. I think a couple of times I cold approached a woman. Like when I was in Lviv, I was walking the street, and it was a busy time. It was like maybe rush hour or something, and it was this really really beautiful Ukrainian woman like walked by me, and we made eye contact for a little bit. But she was just beautiful. Like she kind of almost had like the sexy like nerd kind of look. Like she wore glasses, and she was like she was very slim. She had like all white on and really pretty eyes, and like she walked by me and we made eye contact briefly, and I was like, oh my god. So like I immediately turned around and I started talking to her. And I was like, oh, hi, how are you? Like, what's your name? And she told me her name, and she asked me where I was from. And then I think I asked her, like, if I could call her sometime. And then she was like, oh no, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm married and stuff like that. And I'm on my way to meet my husband right now. I was like, okay, sorry about that. It's all good. So that wasn't a success. But cold approaching, I mean, there's different ways you can do it. You can meet a woman on the street and give her a compliment. You could be at a bar or a restaurant. You can make eye contact and cold approach. You could be at a coffee shop or a museum and see someone you're interested in and cold approach. But I've, most of the time over there, it was successful. Like I got a lot of phone numbers, and then women who are interested in you that cold approach you, they have a different method of how they do it. Like they'll just start talking to you, right? Like a woman will just she'll ask you a question or she'll ask you where you're from, and they'll start talking to you, and then basically one thing leads to another, and then you end up like going out with her later. So the way that the women do it is they're a lot more just like smooth and easygoing with it when they cold approach you because they just show you more curiosity.
Wonderful, great breakdown there, Jumbe. Next question for you, brother, is let's see. How should men dress out there in Ukraine? Should we wear G Unit sneakers, K Swiss sneakers? Should we wear oversized 3XL white tees with our snapbacks to the back of our head and a blue bandana with a couple gold chains and baggy trousers slash pants? Or do we wear suits and normal attire? You know, what what do, what do Ukrainian women love?
I love these extremes you go to on this one, dude. It's like the
Hey,
most
bro,
extreme like hood outfit. Like, oh yeah, like
bro,
did
I was on the bus today, right? I saw a brother walk in with baggy trousers, oversized t-shirt with some chains on. I was thinking, bro, it's winter, and you're dressed like a goddamn rapper. It's crazy. Hey, break it down for us, Jimbe.
Yeah, so one thing that women in Ukraine really love is they love brothers with baggy pants and gold chains. No, I'm just joking.
Oh gosh, cancel.
I just,
Brothers,
I just joking.
I know you were, bro.
Nah, man. Like, I mean, Ukraine, like Poland too, but Ukraine, like, people are very, very well dressed there. A lot of good style. I mean, matter of fact, man, like, when I was there, I did some shopping myself, and I bought like a couple of items from like this Ukrainian clothing store, and the stuff is like real sleek and stylish and fitted and everything else. So no, the dress there is chic and stylish, and when it's casual, it's like stylish, casual, and fitted stuff, and I mean, you can never go wrong in like a nice like Italian cut suit or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, you're gonna want to be well dressed, well groomed. Wear clothes that fit, and the more sophisticated your look, the better. Like it just says a lot about you, and women will definitely pay attention to like a well dressed individual.
Okay, thanks for that, brother. Great answer to my question there. Next question for you, bro, is the nightlife in general. Was that a great experience for you in terms of meeting new women, in terms of having a great time, having fun, the music as well? Was that good for you, bro?
Yes, yeah, the nightlife was great. Like now I never did a full blown club, although I could have, and I'm sure it would have been great. But I went to some really cool lounge hotel bars. Like one, if brothers make it to Kiev, there's a hotel called 11. No, what is it called? It's called 11 Mirrors Hotel or 111 Mirrors. Hold on a second. I think it's called. Let's see. Yeah, 11 Mirrors Hotel. Right there. That's one really nice hotel in Kiev, and they have a rooftop bar up there that's really really nice inside, like really chic, really 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 good drinks. Like their drinks are like very good and very strong. I mean, like you could have like one drink and you'll be like good, depending on what your tolerance level is. And it's a really like stylish place. You walk in there, like the women that work there are really nice, really attractive. Bartenders are cool, and you can look out over the city. So I would recommend that place. So yeah, nightlife is great. There's late night coffee shops you can go to. Um, the coffee shop, and there was a lot of women at this coffee shop when I was there. That was in Kiev also, and they had like the DJ. playing. Okay, I can't think the name of it right now, but there's a lot of good coffee shops and lounges and stuff. So the nightlife is great, and even if you're not in a club and you're just a late night cafe, there's just so many women. Like there's like when I was there a month ago, I remember I went to that one coffee shop, and I was sitting outside having a cappuccino, and next door there was another place where you could get drinks and people were sitting outside. And this is the area where I met when I told you in the beginning where I met that black girl who kind of looked like Diana Ross, Tracy Ellis Ross. Like she was in that area, and it was just so many like attractive girls everywhere, man. Like just beautiful and feminine and upbeat and just it's a really lively city. So Kiev, or Kiev, it's a very like lively city. It's a lot of people, a lot of women around. So the nightlife there is great. But then when you go to Odessa, you got the beach town, you got clubs and bars in that city. And that city is very the vibe is chill, but the women are still dressed up. So it's a chill energy. It's a very relaxed energy, but the women are still highly feminine and very, very dressed up with their heels and dresses and everything. So if you go to Odessa, you definitely want to go when it's warm. Go in the summertime because I'm telling you, when you get to Odessa, oh my God, like the beauty that you're going to see, the elegance that you're going to see is going to be crazy. Like one day I was walking, I think I just came from like a run. So I had like, a workout gear on and I was walking back to the hotel and there were three women. And I don't know if they were like mother, daughter, grandmother, or I don't know if they were colleagues, but it was like one younger one was like in older, and then it was like the oldest one, and all three of these women were like bad. They were all hot, and they were all together, and they all had like dresses on and heels and everything, and they were like looking at me like low key. They were like whispering to each other, and they kept like looking over at me as I was walking, right? So then like they went into a drugstore. And I followed them into the drugstore because I needed to buy sunscreen anyway. So I was like, okay, this is a good chance. Maybe I'll get to meet one of them, right? But I was trying to figure out which one. I was looking for wedding rings because I was like, okay, whoever has the wedding ring on, I don't want to talk to that one. So I'm looking for one who doesn't have a wedding ring on, right? And I think they all had wedding rings on, so I didn't bother with it. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do this today. But yeah, and then like as I was leaving. And this is always the thing about a lot of Eastern European women. They'll be checking you out, but they will act like they're not. They'll be real slick about it. Because I was leaving, they made sure that they didn't like stare at me when I was like near them in their proximity. And when I walked out the door, I kind of like looked behind me, and then I saw all three of them like whispering, talking again, and kind of pointing at me. I was like, see, they always do this over there. Like they'll be very, very slick to make sure that you're not paying attention to them when they're paying attention to you.
Great info there. Thank you, brother. And brothers, please hit the like button. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell to all so you never miss an upload, post, or live stream from me. Support the channel through the Cash App that's open right now. And hit the super chat, brothers. You're getting government level intel here, intel that only the US government knows about, brothers. So, hit the super chats, hit the like button. That'd be greatly appreciated, brothers. Thank you very much. Next question for you, brother, is N-word use. Was the N-word said at all towards you or out in the open, or did you hear it at all in your trips in Ukraine, brother?
No, I mean, I don't think, probably a lot of people over there probably wouldn't even know what that word is, to be honest. Like nobody, I've never heard that word, and I don't think anyone uses that word whatsoever.
Was hip hop quite big there in Ukraine?
Oh yeah, I mean hip hop's influence is heavy. I mean when you go out, you go to the clubs and the bars and stuff. They'll be playing hip hop, or they'll be playing like. Actually, man, there's some. I discovered some music when I was there. Like there's a lot of like some R&B music and even like some hip hop music, and I'm guessing it's like either Ukrainian artists or Turkish artists, but like some really good stuff, like some really good music that I got turned on to when I was there. So they're very like open to good music. And but yeah, I mean, hip hop. When you go out to a club, you'll hear some hip hop. You know, when you go to the bars, you'll hear some hip hop for sure.
Okay, thank you, brother. Um, what dangers are there to be aware of in Ukraine, in your opinion? What should brothers be aware of in general?
Um, I think in Kiev, I mean, I don't know. It's not like I know Kiev like the back of my hand, but I'm sure there's neighborhoods that probably aren't the safest in Kiev because again, it is a poorer country. Even though their infrastructure is amazing, like they have a lot of right now in Kiev, especially, and probably all of Ukraine, but in Kiev, they have all these new high-rise apartment buildings being built. There's a lot of like new infrastructure coming in, a lot of construction happening. Even in Lviv, there's a lot of new roads being paved and things being redone. So I guess they have the money, the finances to do that. But just like any place you go, just be aware of your surroundings. You know, if you're not so sure about where you're going or a certain neighborhood, don't take an Uber, take a cab or whatever the case may be. If you're drunk, if you've been drinking too much and you know you're not 100%, you don't have your sensibilities with you. Make sure that you're just doing the right thing. Make sure you're taking a cab places. You don't want to offend anybody. I mean, just common sense, but no gun violence, no real danger, anything like that. It's a safe place to be. I walked around late at night. Matter of fact, when I was there a month ago in Kiev, my first couple of nights there, first couple of days there, actually, I wasn't feeling too good because my time clock was all screwed up. Coming from West Coast of the United States and then being over there, which is like 10 hours ahead of where I in the time zone I'm in now. So the first few nights at the hotel, man, like I could not sleep right. I really couldn't eat right. I was just feeling really weird. And I remember like I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and it was cold. And I got up, I had some coffee and like I put my workout gear on and I started running at like 4 o'clock in the morning around the city in Kiev in the cold. Put the hoodie on and everything, warm workout gear, and I just started running. And I felt perfectly safe. There was like nobody out 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm running around this foreign city and felt perfectly fine. So a lot of those cities, man, they're fine. You'll be fine as a brother over there. You got nothing to worry about.
Okay, thank you, brothers. Thank you. Um, Last two questions for you, bro. Should brothers travel alone or in a group to Ukraine, and why?
Um, well, I mean, you can do both. I mean, you can if you like having company with you, if you like having your boys with you, your friends with you, by all means, you can travel. You can travel in a group. If you guys want to be each other's wingman in certain situations at a club scene or a bar with the girls and all of that, like that could be helpful for some brothers. And just what I mean, because it depends on the individual. It depends on how you want to travel. If you want to, because I like to travel alone. I like to do my own thing. I like to kind of create my own adventure and kind of go places myself to really like open myself up and discover things on my own merit. And I don't really have a problem doing that. I actually love it because it brings me peace. And then when I want to have my solitude, I can have my solitude. I don't really have to compromise my time or anything like that. Like if I'm at a place and I want to stay, I don't have to like compromise because the other person wants to leave or vice versa. But it's up to the individual. So it depends on your personality, who you are as a person, what works for you. But you can do either one. You can travel by yourself, you'll be perfectly fine. You can travel in a group of friends, you'll be perfectly fine. But one of the things that I always live by is, and this is probably some of the best advice that like anybody's parents will give them growing up, is watch the company you keep. Like that's probably like some of the best advice your parents could ever give you because it's just so true. So I would say like know who you're traveling with. Make sure that that's a person that you can tolerate on a trip because you traveling with the wrong person or the wrong people can like mess up an entire trip. And that's not what you want.
Okay, thank you, bro. And the last question for you, brother, is how safe is Ukraine for brothers? In terms of taking transport. Would you advise brothers? Okay, so maybe it's two questions. Is Ukraine safe for black men to travel to and live there ultimately? And the second question is public transportation. Should we take Ubers a lot more often than public transportation? Are taxis safe? What was your method in transportation? So two questions there, bro.
Everything is safe. The public transportation is safe. I've taken the subway multiple times in Kiev, and the trams also. And taking an Uber is perfectly safe as well. As a black man, you'll have no issues. You have no problems. Like again, you'll see some African brothers in that country, and they look happy and they're living their lives, whether they're working or studying, and they're perfectly fine. Nobody's going to mess with you. It's perfectly fine. Okay, and a lot of different types of people take public transportation. Like there's all types of people on the trains there. Um, Kiev Kiev is the only city that has the subway system because it's a big city. The other cities like Lviv and Odessa, they just have the tram, so it's a lot more laid back. But Kiev has the subway system, and the subways there are very efficient, very fast, easy to get around. It's funny, like one of the interesting things about Eastern European cities I noticed is how deep underground their subway systems are compared to like America. So like a lot of it's so funny because like their escalators they go like super fast and they like go super steep and really deep. I just always find that interesting over there. But yeah, you're fine taking public transport. You're fine taking an Uber over there or the Bolt car that they have over there, which is just like Uber. It's another app service. 100%, it's safe. You're good. You'll be all fine.
Thank you, brother. Much appreciated. Mr. Jimbe, thank you for answering my questions, brother. I will now open up the phone lines for everyone to call in to ask you questions, brother. Cool. I appreciate the intel you've given so far in Ukraine. It's been fantastic, brother. Thank you. Shout out to Black Crest Networks LLC for the $10 super chat. Thank you, brother. What's with the distaste? What's with the distaste for a woman that wants to be in your arms all the time? I don't get it. She freaking loves you. That's what men need. A woman who is emotionally present. I agree. Yeah, I agree, bro. I ain't got no problem with that, brother.
Here's the thing. Is that like like I mentioned before, when I was there a month ago, I just wasn't feeling it anymore. Like the vibe wasn't the same. So it's if you're into the woman, that's great. You want her all over you, but then once you're not really into her no more, you kind of want her to leave you alone. So that's all it is. It's just I didn't have the same want or desire for her that I had when I was there in July. It was just something different. That's all.
Man, I love it when women, as soon as I go off the train station to meet a girl, and she's my girlfriend already, she's holding hands with me, got her hands all over my arms. We're walking down the street. She's really clingy. I love that. It shows love.
Oh yeah.
It means that she's into you. So I ain't got no problems with that. But like the brother said, if he doesn't like her anymore, get the hell away from me, B.
I wouldn't say that, but yeah. I mean, she's a nice, she's a nice person, but I'm just like, okay, she's just too all over the place with her emotions, and I'm just like, okay, you starting to seem a little like unstable to me, so it was kind of turning me off. You know what I'm saying? So that's all.
Get the hell away from me, bitch. No swearing, brothers. No swearing.
Oh,
okay, that was a slip up there. No swearing, brothers. Shout out to Michael S for the $2 super chat. Prefer Poland or Ukraine? Are women on what the
uninhibited?
Oh, uninhibited. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm tired there. Yeah. What do you prefer, brother? Poland or Ukraine?
Oh, I mean, they're both great. You can't go wrong with either one. But Polish girls are always going to have my heart, just because I click real heavy with Polish women. So and then Polish women are a little bit more uninhibited. Polish women are way more aggressive. so yeah, like the times I've been to Poland, like Polish women they'll step to you, they'll approach you, they'll grab onto your shirt in clubs. Like they they love brothers in Poland, heavy. So Ukraine too, but it's a little bit done a little bit with a little bit more reserve. But Ukraine, just from a numbers standpoint, the beauty is crazy, is unmatched in Ukraine.
Damn, thanks for that, brother. What does a brother mean by a woman uninhibited? What does that mean?
It means uninhibited means like, is she like really open? Is she free? You
Mm.
know, is she or is she reserved? So it's like the opposite of being like reserved and quiet. It'll be like uninhibited or like or liberated almost to a degree.
Okay, yeah, brothers. Keep away from liberated women. That's a problem we have here in the West. Women are too liberated to the point where they're thoughts, they're hoes, they're throwing their box around. That's the issue with uninhibited women. But if she's inhibited, she's reserved. But she's reserved for you, brothers, right? She's only for you. She won't throw a box around. So you want women that are conservative? Go for conservative women. Don't go for liberal women, brothers. Ain't that right, Jumbe?
Yeah, I think overall, as a man, as a alpha male, right, in the world, you would be better suited and you would be a happier man, depending on who you are, if you were with a woman that had a little bit more conservative side in the end. Because usually, how it works in the West, especially, usually the women that are more conservative are the more feminine women,
Mm.
typically.
Yep. Thank you for that, John Bay. Much appreciated, brother. So, brothers, before I open up the phone lines, and Jimmy, you got some police noise. You okay, bro? Police busting down your door. You doing something bad there, bro?
Yeah, cops about to come up in here, man. They don't like me talking about talking about Western women so bad, man. They're like, yo, we're gonna send you to the liberal police, liberal
Hey,
jail.
the cops called. So the cops went after John Bay because he's dropping intel that only the government would know about Ukrainian women. I told you, brothers, this is government level intel. So the government they're out there hearing us right now, and they sent the cops after Jim Bay and telling him don't talk about them anymore, brothers. Only for the U.S. government, brothers. So here's a Facebook group, brothers. If you're not in the Facebook group, you're missing out. So join the Facebook group, brothers, and you know, intermingle with brothers who are like-minded, who are high value. I suggest you join the Facebook group. Um, I'm also on Twitter as well, brothers. Twitter is popping. Um, people are people are DMing me every day on Twitter, and they are retweeting my tweets, liking my tweets. So if you want to reach out to me directly, brothers, follow me on Twitter. Send me a DM on Twitter. We can actually speak on the phone on Twitter as well. Ain't no biggie, but that's a new avenue for me to push out the movement. I'm also on IG as well, brothers. Follow me on Instagram. Send me a DM on Instagram, and we can set up a phone call as well. I was speaking with a couple brothers, today actually on IG, and it was a great convo. Spoke to Pat Dewitt. He's an intelligent brother. Spoke to him today for a few minutes. It was a great convo between me and Pat Dewitt over IG. So if you want to speak to me over IG, follow me on IG, send me a DM, and we'll get that popping. The Seattle sideshow. You have to first join the Facebook group and then send a request to join the Discord server on the Facebook group. Okay, brother. Um, Discord server is going very well. It's popping. It's great. And it's only going to get better. I'm also on Cash App as well, brothers. Like I said, YouTube takes a 30% cut of all my Cash Apps, so of all my super chats. Sorry. So Cash App doesn't take any cut. So if you want to support me directly, fully, please hit the Cash Apps. That'd be greatly appreciated, brothers. And I would really appreciate if you send in a few donations for the Cash Apps, brothers. It means a lot to me. I've been on this movement for 5 years now, 5 years. So thank you, brothers. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, and press notification bell to always, so you never miss an upload, a post, or live stream from me on my channel. So subscribe to the channel, and welcome to the International Passport Movement. Shout out to Alexis Makulo for the $10 super chat. If I can survive Canada, I go to Ukraine next. Or, bro, you won't survive Canada, particularly in Vancouver. I'm sure the moment you step up, the moment you drop off in Vancouver, the women out there will be all over you, bro. you might never leave there, bro. You might never leave Canada, particularly in Vancouver and Montreal. So all the best to you, Alexis Mikulo. Appreciate you supporting the channel always, brother. And you're a good brother, man. I appreciate your support, brother. Thank you. So, brothers, call in now. Be respectful to the guests. Speak about Ukrainian women only. Keep it on a live stream topic, and let's have a great panel session. Thank you, brothers. Call in. Let me pin this real quick. And brothers, hit the like button as well. Let's get up to 100 likes. We're only 6 away from 100 likes. So if you have not liked the video, please hit the like button. We're only 6 likes away from 100 likes this evening. So like the video. Let's get up to 100 likes, brothers. Come on. All right? Get the likes up, brothers. Replace pinned message. Call in. Yeah. Fantastic. So call in, brothers. While we wait for callers, Jumbe, you want to add anything else, brother? Maybe a crazy story about you dealing with a Ukrainian woman in Ukraine. Speak on it, bro.
Oh, crazy story. Do I have any crazy stories about Ukraine?
Or a feminine story where the woman treated you very well. She cooked for you. She was great in, whatever, when you smashed or whatever. Let us know, brother.
Well, yeah, I mean, the woman that I said was kind of clingy, who I wasn't really feeling anymore. I mean, but back in July when I met her and I was interested in her, she was great. Like she invited me to dinner, introduced me to her roommate, and she cooked. She made like a pretty elaborate dinner, and we all sat down and ate. It was her roommate, the one that I said was like really smoking hot. And then the roommate had like a son who was like 7 years old. And this little kid, he was a super funny kid. He didn't speak any English, but him and I were still communicating because he was so funny. But yeah, I mean, it was a good experience. And just like, I just think like people from that part of the world, like they just know how to like be classy and be elegant and just they're just good people, you know what I mean? Like, so it's just like in the States, you don't really necessarily are just going to go over like some random person's house that you just met, the day before or 2 days prior. But over there, it's just a different feeling. It's a different vibe, and I think like from my assessment, like compared to the United States, like people seem to have a better quality of life in terms of like stress levels, and actual genuine communication with the next person. So, I think the women have that aspect in them, and I think like it just makes for like a good situation if you get involved with a woman from Ukraine in that country. Not to mention the beauty and the femininity.
Thank you, brother. If brothers cannot call in, please cash up or super chat your questions. That would be greatly appreciated. So you must call in or you must cash up or super chat your questions. Thank you. John Wallace, I see you, brother. Can you turn your camera on just so I know you're not a troll? Yep, I see you, John. Let me add you in. What's going on, John Wallace? How you doing, bro? John Wallace.
Hey y'all. How y'all doing?
Doing good, bro. How are you?
I'm awesome, man. I just wanted to ask some questions about like Ukraine. Okay, like with the crime rates, right? Is it like low crime or is it high crime rates or anything else? Like, is it safe to go there?
Yeah, it's perfectly safe to go there. I mean, the crime rate, from what I gather, is pretty low. There's no gun violence or anything like that. So compared to the United States, particularly certain United States cities, it's going to be a low crime rate, and you'll be safe there.
AIP, we have another California brother here, bruh. I'm also from Cali, so yeah, I just wanted to shout out to you, man, and I like what you do, and I love your work, man. So another question would I be asked, what's like the average height of a Ukrainian woman? Did you meet some tall, short, or medium height, or in between?
Yeah, it's in between. I mean, it's there's some tall ones. I saw a really beautiful tall woman a month ago who at the mall, and I mean, she was gorgeous. I mean, she was like just gorgeous and really, really tall, like beautiful, full lips, cheekbones on point, very slim. Like she was gorgeous. So there's some tall girls. There's a lot of average height girls, but I would say
Cool.
most of the women are probably mostly average height.
Awesome. So if you get, let me ask this question, like if you get married to a Ukrainian woman, can you move her back to America or will she suddenly change or something? Like, can you move her back?
I mean, I guess that would depend on what you want to do. I mean,
Like,
I'm
if you're a busy, like if you're a busy guy, right, and you have like mostly businesses in America and you can't like live in Ukraine, right? And like let's say you are a corporate guy and you want to move her there with you and like you want to start a family and settle down. Would that be difficult? Like will she suddenly change to like a typical American woman or will she maintain her femininity?
I mean, it depends on the woman, but I mean, I think that she would maintain her femininity as much as possible. I mean, I know women here in
Oh,
LA that are from Ukraine and Russia, and they're more feminine than the women that were born here for sure.
oh
So,
cool.
so yeah, I
Oh
think
cool. Oh, cool. Because I mainly live in the South Central area. I don't see like a lot of feminine women. I mainly see like black or Mexican or
well,
some
yeah,
girls, but like,
you're in
yeah,
South Central, so that's why.
yeah, yeah. I mainly live in South LA, so I would not see much of that. But I, you know, about feminine women, I don't see a lot of them here. But like with you, it's kind of different because I've never really traveled outside North America before. So it would really be great for me to see like the outside world and change for a bit because I used to think like, okay, American white women or European white women were the same. I did not really know until I found out and I sort of clicked to this channel and it's been really great so far. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, they're not the same, man. You should definitely get your passport. You should definitely travel. I
Mm,
encourage like everybody to
uh,
travel and go see the world.
Thank you,
yeah,
John
thanks,
Wallace.
man.
No problem, bro. Shout out to Frank Harris, the legend, regular supporter, for the £7.55 cash app. Thank you, Frank. Much appreciated, bro. It means a lot to me. Thank you, Frank Harris, the bro right there. Um, brothers, feel free to call in. There's a lot of space on the panel. Call in, brothers. It's a good night. It's Saturday over here in the UK. It's a Friday over there for my American brothers. So call in right now, brothers. Don't let this opportunity go by. You know, Jim Bay has taken the time out of his day to speak on helping brothers. So, call in right now. If you don't want to call in, that's cool. But if you have questions, cash up your questions, super chat your questions as well, and let's get it popping. Call in, brothers, call in. Um, I have a question. Let's
Mhm.
see. Um, hmm, hmm. If I was to bring a Ukrainian chick back to America or the UK, will she switch up on me, brother? Will she? How easy is it for her to be influenced by the horrible American feminists, um, American woman who poison her? Will she change up on me, brother, or will she keep her Ukrainian culture?
No, those women in Ukraine, I don't think those women would change up at all. Like those women, they have like a femininity energy about them that's kind of like it's like something you've never experienced. So
Damn.
those women particularly are like just very different. They're not going to allow like American influence like infiltrate who they are naturally as women, because those women will come over here and they'll look around, they'll be like, why are all the women dressed in sweatpants? They don't understand why like so many women are like dressed down. Like the women over there get dressed up to go to the grocery store.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So when they come here, it's like a culture shock to them because they'll be like, because let me tell you like this, like America, especially Hollywood, has done a very good job at marketing herself to the rest of the world as being a certain way. But then when you get to America, you find out how many trash aspects there are to America.
Yeah.
Like so for example, like I had this Russian girl that I know who's she's been here in LA for 10 years, but she told me when she first moved here, she was so surprised at how low key, how casual the women dress, because she says, growing up, when she would watch movies, she would see like you'd see these elegant women in the movies like Marilyn Monroe and like and all these movie stars where they market American women to be these beautiful feminine women, but then when you get here, you're like, wait a minute, what is this? So America has done a number on the world. It's done a whole trick game, pulled a Jedi mind trick on the world into thinking that it's so great, but when you get here, you see all the problems that we have, and it's a lot of lies being told.
Yeah, thanks for that, brother. Sachi, I see you, bro. Sachi, can you turn your camera on very briefly, just so I know you're not a troll? It's a new security procedure. I can't see you, bro. I cannot see you. Yeah, you good, bro. Thank you, brother. Turn it off. Thank you, bro. Let me bring in Sachi. What's up, Sachi? How you doing, bro? Long time.
How you doing? It's been a while.
It's been a while, man. It's been a while. Where you been?
All right, so I just had a couple of questions. What's this guy's name again? I just joined not too long ago.
John Bay Travels.
Yeah, John. So I wanted to ask, as far as your experience out there, do you? I know you mentioned the gym is like a very great place in regards to like the top tier, I guess like top tier higher ass girls that are very into like their looks and everything.
Yeah.
Do you notice? Because my theory is the competition out there is higher since the overall quality is better. Do you notice the same level of arrogance that there would most likely be amongst the American female diaspora?
The same level of arrogance that the women would have as American women in terms of
yeah, like are they more humble out there?
They're way more humble. 10 times more humble.
Go ahead.
Not even close to. Listen, in America, you have girls who are like 5s and 6s who act arrogant, which is like
right,
which is like ridiculous, right? And those girls wouldn't last 2 minutes in like a country like Ukraine. Like no one would pay attention to them. Like you have beautiful women that are 10s all over the place, and these women, they're very approachable, they're humble. So no, that arrogance part is just not a thing. Now I'm sure there's a couple in there somewhere.
Sure.
But generally, no.
So I asked this because I told IP this story at one point, but just as a fresh reminder, I met this girl from Ukraine at one point, and she had mentioned when she first came to the US with her like Ukrainian friends or whatever, she was like, I was so shocked when I first came here by how a lot of these girls here in America act. This is what she said to me. And she was like, if these girls in America were to ever come back home to Ukraine, they would never get boyfriends. Like the Ukrainian guys just would not tolerate it. Would you agree with that statement?
Yes, 100%. Why would they? Why would they have to? They have a nation full of women who represent ultimate femininity and beauty. Why would they waste their time? It wouldn't make any sense.
So would you agree that Ukrainian men have a way higher standard?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. I mean, if their women are like that, I would say yes. But they may not even realize it themselves. Like it's just probably what they're used to, right? That's the culture that they're brought up in. So they probably don't even look at it the same way that we look at it. To them, it's the norm. To us, it's something special when it should be the norm.
So just like you just recently said, and this is my last question for now, the 4s, 5s, and 6s, a lot of those in America are very arrogant, stuck up. They act like they're more attractive and higher than they actually are. Do you notice that out there, the girls that might be like 8s, 9s, and 10s are actually a lot more on the humble side? This is just my theory.
No, I mean, the vibe I got were, I mean, all the women that I came in contact with, whether they were 7, 8s, and 9s, or the ones that were really, really hot, they all had the same kind of like feminine energy, and they were humble and they were sweet.
Good.
When you approached them, they were very approachable. Even if they had boyfriends and they couldn't give you their number, even when the women out there reject you for whatever reason, they still do it in a sweet, nice, flirty way.
Yeah.
So it's so different. It's just so different than what brothers would be used to in America. It's night and day.
Got it. All right. Thank you. Back to you, IP.
Great question, Side Chief. Thank you, bro. Shout to Black Crest Networks again for the $10 super chat. Thank you, Black Crest. Second super chat, was it third? Much appreciated, bro. Thank you. If you step on dog poop, no matter how clean you are, you start smelling of poop. America changes you. The influence is even heavier on women. I wouldn't chance it. Yeah, yes, indeed, man. Yeah, indeed. You know, America, the American propaganda is some of the best in the world. It is some of the best in the world, man. They have done a number in this world, like it's crazy. That's why I'll be. If I was an American brother right now, I would be very, very wary about bringing my foreign women to America because I know how America is. The media, the music, the women, the cultural influence, colleges, TV shows, feminist women, her friends. It'll be too much to fight against, man. I'm telling you you're gonna get tired. But shout out to the brother Black Crest Networks. Thank you, bro. Okay, let me bring in Conrad Grant, the legend. How you doing, Conrad Grant? You okay, brother? Mr. Conrad Grant, are you there, bro? Conrad Grant? Conrad? Are you there, Conrad Grant? Brother, are you there, bro? All right, Conrad. Okay, I don't think it's not working for him. Let me put him on mute real quick. All right. Conrad, you there, Conrad Grant? Conrad, unmute yourself, bro. Conrad, unmute yourself, brother. How you doing, Conrad? Conrad Grant, bro, can you hear us? I know. Okay. He's okay. John Wallace, do you have any more questions for Jumbo Travels?
Yeah, I got some more questions.
Go on, bro.
I got more questions. Okay, when you're married to a Ukraine woman, in typical relationships, are they usually submissive? Like, would they clean the house or, take the kids to school and not bother you? What type of submissiveness are they? Basically?
Yeah, I mean the women in Ukraine are very traditional, so they would be taking care of the house, they would clean the house, they would cook, they would take care of the children. The men would be in their traditional roles, so it's a very traditional husband and wife situation. So yeah, those women would be very submissive and feminine, and they would clean the house and cook for the man. You know, the breadwinner of the house. Absolutely.
So they're not westernized or in any shape or form. They're not like, you do this, I do that, we'll split it up or anything.
No, not from what I experienced. Like the women that I've seen, the women that I
Okay.
met, they're not. They don't have that westernized um, mentality. I mean, I'm sure there's always exceptions, but generally, no.
So if
So hold on.
they,
Sorry, bro. Do men have to pay for everything? So dates, buying food, buying drinks, is that incumbent on the man to pay it? Is that what expected in culture?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like if you're on a date or you're taking someone out on a drink, I mean, I think it's already expected that the man is going to pay, but it's not like you're going to mind doing it when you're out with this beautiful feminine woman. Like it's not from a materialistic entitled standpoint. It's just culturally that's what's happening.
but
Oh,
let's say you let's say you lost a credit card or like you don't have any money. Let's say you took her on a date. Like, will she pay up for you or like will she be able to compromise or exchange money with you or anything else?
Well, I mean,
Like Canadian woman, for example.
I'm sure she would be able to. Yeah, I mean, if it's certain special circumstances,
Yeah.
like for some reason, like the credit
Mm,
card devil snapped your card in half or something, like,
yeah.
and then yeah, I'm
She'll
sure.
be she'll be a very bad woman if she did if she didn't help you out with that, man. She'll be
Yeah,
an
I mean,
evil woman.
Yes.
yeah, I'm
So
sure.
like,
Uh, that's an extreme case, but yeah.
so are they really like passionate about everything? Like, will they hold your hand, or will they like hug you a lot, or
Oh yeah,
would they just
they're very romantic. They're they're very romantic. So yeah, they'll hug you
okay?
and they'll hold your hand if they like you. You'll get all that lovey dovey stuff. Yeah, it'll be fun.
All right, all right.
Thank you, thank you,
So
bro. Thank you, brother. Like, I can't imagine like if you're dating a girlfriend, right, and then you lose your card, right, and she won't help you out with
yeah.
nothing. What kind of girlfriend is that? You better dump her on the spot, brother. I would
Oh
dump her on the
man.
spot. To F off, B. Like, nah, man. That's just disrespectful. Like, that's not your girlfriend. That's a leech right there. But extreme cases, But shout out to you, John Wallace. But I can't imagine that happening in a relationship. If she ain't gonna help out if you lose your card or wallet, that's she's for the streets, man. Let me do you have any more questions, John Wallace? Hold on, is that it?
Yeah, yeah. No, I got a little more questions, but like, what, how, which would be the easier way to travel to Ukraine? Because let's say, because I heard one time you were in Germany. Let's say you go to Germany from like the capital Berlin to Kiev. Would that be like an easier route to travel?
Well, I mean, all of that's going to depend on your itinerary and what airline you're flying. I mean, typically, if you're coming,
Okay.
you're from California, so if you're when I fly
Mhm.
to Eastern Europe, it's usually one connection, and that connection is usually like Copenhagen, Denmark, or Amsterdam, and then you'll so like the last time I flew to Ukraine, it was L.A. to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to Kiev. So it's
All right.
usually something like, or maybe you'll connect in Switzerland, but all that's going to depend on the airline you take. But it's
All
usually
right.
it's usually some Central or Eastern European country that you're connecting.
Awesome, bro. Because like for me, it's like it'll be a lot more easy if I just take the shortcut because I'm not usually the person who travels like a lot, so I'll usually take from place to place. So if you're there, do you like drive? Can you like drive yourself to places, or did you just walk, on the streets to like go
I'm,
from a
I
shop
mean,
or a store?
if you want to drive, you can, but I don't drive when I'm there. I take public transportation and
Oh,
I take Ubers. Like Ubers in Ukraine are super cheap. Everywhere you go costs like $2, $3. That's how cheap
okay.
Uber is in Ukraine. So it's just easier. Like I have no desire to drive when I'm in Europe. Like I love walking. I love taking public transportation. I love like meeting people and just soaking up the city. So I rather do it the more like authentic way. Like I don't want to drive when I'm over there. But you can rent a
So
car and stuff if you wanted to.
So when you traveled solo, you didn't meet any scammers or anything else. People try to scam you or people try to deceive you in any sort of way. You didn't meet those type of people.
I mean, there's always scammers. I mean, you got to know what to look out for. Like for example, if like for example, like when I was in Rome, I was by the Colosseum. There were
Hmm.
there's some African brothers out there that kind of do some scamming stuff. Like they'll come up and talk to you. They'll try to hand you something. They try to hand you some kind of pamphlet. Just never take it. Never take anything from them because they're gonna want you to pay for it. It's just common sense stuff, stuff like that.
Thank you, John
Okay.
Wallace.
Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
brother. Thank you. So
Yeah.
there's even African scammers in Ukraine, Jinbei.
I didn't see any in
Okay.
Ukraine. I don't. I, didn't, I mean, I've experienced some of the not all. I'm gonna give the African brothers a bad name, but there's some African scam brothers like in Paris. There's a lot in Paris, and there's a lot in Rome and Italy. But it's you just know. I mean, it's not just Africans. It'll be like some gypsies. You know what I mean? One thing about Ukraine though, there's a lot of like one thing you'll see in Ukraine is you'll see a lot of like gypsy kids. Like it's a lot of really poor like gypsy kids that'll be begging you for money. sometimes, and sometimes they can be a little aggressive. Like you could be sitting at a restaurant outside, and they'll come up to you and start speaking their language, and they just look real poor. They just want money. But then usually the wait staff will see them, and the wait staff will stop them immediately from bothering you. So, but you'll see quite a bit of that when you're over there.
Thank you, brother. Let me bring in the Seattle sideshow. How's it going, the Seattle sideshow? Long time no speak. You okay, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. How you been?
I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good, bro. Where you been at, man? It's been a minute.
Shoot, man. I'm just trying to get this hustle on. I lost my passport, so I gotta get that back in motion. So, last time I used that was in Mexico, but it's all good.
Fantastic, bro. Welcome back, brother.
Yeah, no problem.
Again, bro, can you reach out to me on IG real quick? I just want to see if you're doing okay. Speak to you about your trip in Mexico and just see where you've been at in the past few months, okay?
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll hit you up.
Thank you, bro. Do you have any questions for the guest, bro?
Yeah, I did actually. So let's see here. It's a city in Ukraine. It's known for like a dance, to having a lot of dance hall studios and stuff. Or is he familiar with that?
Dance hall studios?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you know what city? Is it like a big city, or is it?
I pulled up a map. I'm trying to remember it myself. Let's see. Because I'm the type of person, when I see the city, I can remember it once I'm trying to remember it. But long story short, like, you know who Philco is?
Philco?
Yeah, the guy that has that Top Pogs website.
Probably not. Let's not.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think he knows it. Let's ask him questions about his experience in Ukraine, brother.
Yeah, no, it's related to it. I was just gonna say that, like when I was in Seattle, I had some experiences with Ukrainians out there, and as far as how westernized they are, I was just gonna say it depends on the Ukrainian, because I met some of them out there, similar to some Polish people. They can be on the, wearing the Nikes, listening to the hip hop. I've even seen Ukrainian women with dreads and stuff before, blonde hair, the whole deal. So I was just asking, like, what's the if you've seen any of that yourself when you were actually over there, though, versus the type that we have here in the States.
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see no like girls with dreads and that kind of hippie thing going on. Like all I saw was just real feminine women. So I'm sure like certain Ukrainians, just like certain Polish, like I know some Polish people that that, like, for example, there's a huge Polish community in Chicago. And then I had a girl in one of my acting classes who was Polish years ago here. So a lot of them, when they've been in the States for a while, they might start to get a little influence, or they might start to act a little bit more like westernized. I mean, like that does happen from time to time. But I didn't over there. You're not going to really see that. That's not the energy that you're going to experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. Because the only reason I brought up Philco and stuff, because he, not to go deep into that, but he recruited heavy from Ukraine. Like, that's where he would find most of the models and stuff for that. So I was just getting on here to be like, it depends on what type of Slavic woman, you're dealing with out there. Because same thing with Asians. My experience with Asians in Seattle, you got, the Koreans that are like Korean, and you got the ones that are, trying to, dye their hair, wear dreads and all that. So,
right.
But I do, like you said, I think it's a big difference between going there and then the ones that we'll see here, even on the West Coast or wherever you're at in the States.
Yeah, if you want to experience what people of a culture are genuinely like for real, like you go to their country and then you really see what's what, because America has just a way of shifting people's mindset, just with all the manipulation and through media and everything. Like, they got us coming and going in the United States through food, through everything you think of is controlled. So you have to be a really like strong person to be able to see through that.
Yeah, but as far as my experiences went off, I've only got good experience besides what I saw, in some parts like downtown Seattle and stuff. I've only got good experiences with people from that part of Europe. I think they're definitely very friendly and very hospitable. I think they're similar. I mean, I know you wouldn't say this over there, but I can see similarities between them. Like, the Polish or Russians and Ukrainians, they kind of war with each other. The Slavic countries are culturally, but not war in a bad way, but, kind of like a family feud type way. But
Yeah.
as an American, it's a bit harder to see the differences. I definitely wouldn't say that to them, but
Well, I mean,
you meet a Russian and a Ukrainian, I feel like an American might. So I wanted you to speak on that. When you were out there, did you go to any other Slavic countries? And would you say there's a difference between, say, someone from Belarus and Ukraine or Russia?
yeah, I mean, there's differences. There's subtle differences. I mean, I've been to a lot of countries. I've been to Poland. I've been to Czech Republic. I mean, there's similarities and some differences. But the thing with Europe is, especially that part of Europe, Eastern Europe and Central Europe, a lot of these cultures are intertwined because their whole history has to do with like conquer. It's like one nation conquered Ukraine for this amount of years, and then they went away, and then like Russia came and conquered, and then they went away. It's a lot of this back and forth conquering of one nation to the next. So as much as conflict as they may have had with neighboring nations, there are some similarities culturally a lot of times when it comes to like certain foods, when it comes certain ways of life, or even like certain religions. So I mean, a lot of it's intertwined, but people are very proud of their individual culture. So yeah, that's not something that I would say over there, but and as they should be. I mean, people have been through a lot and survived a lot. So yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. I feel like if a European came here, they feel the same way about, the states, the different East Coast cities. I don't think someone from Ukraine would know the difference between a Boston and a Philly and a DC.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that, Seattle Sideshow. Thank you, brothers. It's been a great conversation. I know Jimbe is probably busy. It's a Friday night over there in the US. So we won't take his time up for too long. So I'm gonna go through everyone for one last closing statement as well. How long more can you stay on, Jimbe?
I mean, I could do 20 minutes or so.
Okay. So brothers, you want to call in right now if you have any questions for the brother Jimbe. If not, cash app or super chat your questions. If I don't see any new callers in the next few minutes, I'm going to end the stream. I'm not going to drag on for any longer. So let me go to John Wallace. No, let me go to Sai Saichi. Sai Saichi, do you have any more questions you want to ask, brother? Any closing statements as well?
So yes, actually, I have two questions. So question number one for John is, I would like to know, do you see like how's the obesity out there? Because I know you said like the fitness thing, like there's a good amount of girls that do make their fitness a priority, like when you went to the gym. But overall, like, do you see like a lot of like fast foods? How are people eating out there? Do you see like a lot of like bigger women?
No, the obesity is like very, very low. Very low. Like most women are either they're either really fit, or they just have natural bodies, and people walk a lot, walk around the city a lot, so you don't see a lot of obesity out there at all. I mean, and there are fast food places, like there's KFC and McDonald's and all that stuff, and people eat it late night coming from the bar or whatever, but they're just not fat. Like you don't see obesity like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And number two, I know you said in Poland they were more aggressive, but like it was a little more like subtle and slick. Out when you went to, I don't know if it was Kiev, you said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Poland, like Polish girls in general, are just like I mean, in my experience, I always found that they're just they're just, from my assessment, like really more into like black men for sure, and they don't hide it.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like in Poland, I've had girls come up to me in nightclubs and put their arms around my waist, and I was standing there. I was standing there for like 5 minutes. Just got there, just like that.
Okay.
Like the women are just so, they're just so much more like open and with it in Poland. Like it's so easy to get with Polish women, and then Ukraine it is too. But it was just, it's just more, it's just done it in a more subtle way. You know what I'm saying? But you know it's I didn't see them being as aggressive as Polish girls. Not saying that there's some that aren't,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would say that Polish women are a little bit more aggressive than Ukrainian.
Okay. But the Ukrainian girls will make it known, at least, correct?
Yeah, the Polish girls will make it known. It'll be. I mean, and so will Ukrainian girls, but it'll just be more done with looks and subtlety and hints and stuff.
Got it. Got it. So I'll notice if anything. Okay. Got it. That's all I want to know. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Saichi. Shout out to Anthony Thomas for the $25 super chat. Thank you so much, Anthony Thomas. Much appreciated, brother. Thank you. Means a lot to me. Peace IP. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for supporting the channel, Anthony Thomas. Means a lot to me, brother. I appreciate it greatly, brother. Thank you, Anthony. Let me go on to John Wallace. Do you have any closing statements, brother? John Wallace, do you have any closing statements?
I have a statement, but I also have a question. First of all, I would say IP, shout out to you, man. But I think you should do more on like the Middle East, or especially like Southern Europe, like Lebanon, for example, because I heard like Lebanon is probably one of the most beautiful countries, and it's probably like safe and stuff like that. But I also got a question for Junbei. With the Ukrainian women compared to like other Slavic women, especially Polish, what are they reserved like personality wise, or are they like really calm? And what is like their character in general?
Yeah, I mean,
Like how would they like?
the Ukrainian women are very calm. They don't seem too high strung or too, they don't seem cuckoo or crazy. And very, very feminine. Again, a little bit more reserved than Polish women, but still friendly just the same. So they're perfectly fine.
So about also Polish women. Are Polish women usually, let's say you're married or you're a girlfriend and boyfriend, and like say you get into an argument with them, would they usually show off their aggressive side, or do they have like an aggressiveness to them, or like sort of an emotional
I mean,
standpoint?
I'm sure Polish women in a heated debate can probably get pretty feisty. I mean, that's going to depend on the woman. I mean, the woman the girl that I know that was in my acting class years ago, she was a pretty feisty one, but she was beautiful, cute girl. But her and her boyfriend used to get in little arguments and stuff. But she had been in America for a long time, so it just depends on the woman. But I'm sure if you're talking about a relationship situation where it's behind closed doors, man and woman, I mean that's going to happen from time to time. Couples are going to get in arguments, but you're not going to have to worry about them hauling off and smacking you across the face like maybe like a chick in America would. It's a little different.
Oh, so those Polish Americans that you saw, let's say in the US, they didn't become westernized or become the typical American woman, which is, I don't know, a feminist basically. They didn't like become like that type of character.
Not that I've seen to that degree, but I mean, I'm sure it happens, but I would say generally no. But I mean, I'm sure some of them do. But again, it just depends on the woman, on the personality of the woman herself.
Okay.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you, John.
That's all I have. Yeah.
Thank you, John. Much appreciated, brother. Seattle Sideshow. Are you Trent that messaged me on IG just now? Unmute yourself,
Account
brother.
though.
Are you Trent? Is that you?
Yeah, that's my alt account. I didn't realize I messaged you from there.
Okay, that's fine. No, that's cool, bro. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Let me bring in Thomas. Can you turn your camera on very briefly, bro? Just so I see it's you. Yeah, you're good, bro. Thank you, Thomas. Let me bring in Thomas Demahin. What's up, Thomas?
What's up, bro? Can you hear me?
I'm good, man. Loud and clear, brother. How are you?
All good, all good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good, bro. Are you taking timestamps of the stream?
Absolutely.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Thomas. Do you have any questions for the guest, Thomas?
Yes, I do. So brother, I also wanted to ask you, is it all right to bring Ukrainian women back to your home country?
I mean, if you really wanted to, I'm sure that you could, but I mean, I I wouldn't want to bring any woman back here to the States, um, just because America's influence can be pretty heavy on a woman who, if she's here long enough, you know. But I mean, the Ukrainian women that I've met here in LA, and even some of the Russian ones that have been here for a long time, the ones that I know haven't seemed to lost who they are at all. They seem to be very feminine and very submissive still. So I think culturally, a lot of it stays with them, and they're very strong in that way. They're strong in their values. I was with this one Russian woman years ago, and she had a couple of kids, but like she was very adamant about her kids being able to speak Russian and not just English, even though her kids were born here. So she was very still much into her culture. So she would only speak to her children in Russian, and they would have to speak to her in Russian. So I think the women, they're still good women. Even when they come to America, they still have like family values, and they still take care of the household, and they're still going to be, you know, who they are naturally, the same way that they were when they were back in their home country, generally. I mean, I'm sure there's exceptions to that.
Okay, cool. Have you ever encountered Norwegian women?
Yeah, I dated a Norwegian woman back in 2008, and she was awesome. She was beautiful too. She was like beautiful, tall. She was very quiet, but like her and I just hit it off. She was quiet, but she knew how to have a good time. So yeah.
Mm, um, see, if you, let's say for example, if you did bring back a woman, a Ukrainian woman or Russian woman to your country, would they still actually you already answered that question, to be honest. Like, I mean, does liberalism affect them in any way, or are they strictly conservative?
No, I mean, women from the Slavic countries, they're not liberal the way that you would think that equate liberalism in America. Like they have different values. Like a lot of them don't believe in abortion at all, for example. So a Slavic woman is not going to get an abortion. She believes in children and family. So I really don't think that if you take a woman from that nation, from Ukraine or some of those other nations, who has been born and raised there and has those values instilled in her, and you bring her to America, that all hell's going to break loose. I know that that's a fear that a lot of guys have. And I wouldn't. I mean, me personally, like if I was to marry a Ukrainian woman or a Polish woman, I would want to stay over there just because me personally, I would love to live in Europe anyway. Just me personally, but for brothers who want to come back to the states, I think I don't think there's something that they would. I think people worry about that a little bit more than they need to, because if you're getting a quality woman who's been brought up a certain way and has a certain kind of femininity, I really don't think she's going to lose that just because you brought her back to the states. But that's just my opinion. And plus, I know women from that part of the world that have been here for a long time, and for what I can tell, they seem to still have those elements. So
Okay, cool. One more question. So, Ukraine women, um, what are your best experiences with them? And if you had to go back to Ukraine, brother, would what would you want to improve on that experience?
I mean, my best experiences was just hanging out. I mean, like the woman I met at the sushi restaurant, and I went back to her place a few days later, had dinner with her. That was great. You know, just seeing the beauty that I saw, just being out and about, like, coffee shops or whatever. And then when I go back, I definitely want to go back down to Odessa, which has like the beach cities, and I want to spend more time in Odessa, go to some different hotels, and go to some of the other beaches, and just kind of soak up the vibe of that city a little bit more as well. But I mean, Ukraine has a lot to offer. People are nice, women are beautiful. It's very inexpensive. The food's very good. Accommodations are very cheap. I mean, it's a good place to be.
Oh, nice. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. Just one more question, and I'll tell you, it'll be it. It'll be it. It'll be it. Um, so, are you sure that Ukraine is completely safe for brothers? Because there was one video that's very infamous in Ukraine. I'm not going to. I'll just display it in the chat. Give me a second. That's because when you spoke about Ukraine, it reminded me of this video. Give me a second. Yeah. How safe is the Ukraine for brothers? Because when you just spoke about Ukraine, my mind automatically went to that video.
I mean, nothing happened to me when I was there, and I was there twice. So I was there in July for 3 weeks, and I was just there a month ago for like a week and a half. As far as I can tell, it was safe. I went jogging at 4 o'clock in the morning in Kiev. I mean, I don't know what videos people are posting or what the case may be, but as a brother, as a black man, I felt perfectly safe in Ukraine.
Okay, that's great to hear, fam. That's all. Thanks, Aki.
Thank you, Thomas. Great questions, brother. Shout out to Marvin Lloyd for the $2 Canadian super chat. Thank you, Marvin. Much appreciated, brother. It means a lot to me. Thank you, bro. Shout out to the legend, Mr. Conrad Grant, for the $2 super chat. Great stream. Shout out to IP for the amazing intel. Thank you for the kind words, Conrad Grant. Much appreciated, brother. Let me bring in Zach Hayes. What's up, Zach? How you doing, brother?
What's up? What's going on? What's up?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Lovely to hear, bro.
Right.
Do you have any questions for the guests regarding Ukrainian women, brother?
Yeah. I just wanted to ask one question about, like, if I wanted to go out around 8 o'clock and do some immerse exercises, right? Or some have a nice exercise outside early in the morning. Like, are there a lot of people who are interested in fitness? Like, do you see people out there like yourself jogging? Not 4 in the morning. I'm talking about like around 8, 9 o'clock. Do you see people around those times like going out and moving?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, yeah, you see people running, jogging, riding bikes, all over different cities, especially in Kiev when I was just there a month ago. But yeah, fitness, a lot of people are into fitness. And like I mentioned before, the gyms there are like better than the gyms here in the States. Like they're more like high end. Yeah, they're more high end. They're cleaner. They have like all kind of spa treatments and all kinds of stuff. Like the gyms there are like pristine gyms because they actually cost more than here to go to the gym.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of women, a lot of people into fitness in Ukraine for sure.
Right. And you feel like that's a great place for you to have a family? Like, does Ukraine just give you that family-oriented setting that you're seeking to help raise a son or a daughter?
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to get married and be with a woman, I don't think that you could go wrong with marrying a Ukrainian woman that's feminine, beautiful, takes care of the children. I mean, I'm gonna say it again, like the woman that I saw a month ago when I was in Lviv at the mall, and she had 2 kids, and she looked like a supermodel.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was like flawless, and I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, that I need to marry someone like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it just everything about her energy was so feminine, and she was just beautiful. So if there's women like that exist in the world, like and if you know as a man like what you like, what you into, like why aren't you going after it? Like why settle for something that you don't want? For what? Like you should be pursuing what you know deep down you want as an individual. You know, only you know what you really want. Just go get it. Just go do it. Go experience it.
Thanks for answering my question, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I mean that. I'm not blowing smoke. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Zach Hayes. Thank you, brother. Love you seeing your face again. Once again, brother. Hope you're keeping well, bro. Thank you. So I think that we'll end the stream now because he did say 20 more minutes and everyone has spoken. So huge thank you to Jinbei Travels.
IP, I want to ask you something.
It has to be later on, bro. Send me speak to me on IG, bro, because we don't want to take his time up for too long.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Thank you. See that too. All right, so thank you for this stream, Jinbei Travels. Do you have anything else you want to say, bro, before I end the stream, Jinbei?
Yeah, no problem, man. Always a pleasure. Appreciate it. And yeah, all the brothers out there, black men in America and the Western world, get your passport. It doesn't cost that much to get a passport. It's like $100, $100 something dollars. Get it so you have it. So when you're ready to travel, it's available for you. And see the world. Get out of your own bubble, and just explore, because it'll open up your eyes. And then for me, it's brought me like a different level of perspective and peace just from traveling alone. So go for it.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jinbei. Appreciate you, brother, for taking the time out to do the stream. We will see you again, bro. Looking forward to it. And all the best, bro. Who the hell is Trent? Have a great time. Have a great Friday, brother, over there in America. Take it easy, bro. And
Okay.
speak to you later, okay, brother? Thank you.
All right, man. Thanks. I appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
Take it easy, bro. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, brothers. That's been a great stream. Sorry, I thought Trent was a troll. He just said 130 for photo services, but I lost my train of thought there. Sorry, brothers. So thank you, brothers, for this is a great for a great stream. Thank you for those who called in, who super chatted tonight, who cash apped. That was greatly appreciated. And those who hit the like button as well. The support is greatly appreciated. So, brothers, look after yourself. It's 4:20 a.m. over here in the UK, so pretty late over here for me and Thomas. And got to get some sleep. And I'll see you, brothers, on my next stream. Can everyone please comment on this video? We've got over 70 people watching. So can we get 70 comments, if possible, for this stream? Just say "Great stream, International Passport." Thank you, Jinbei, for your insight. Just write anything, man. Write anything. Write anything, brothers, okay? Just support the channel, because comments do help out with the algorithm. So keep it easy, brothers. Look after yourselves. And I will see you all on my next stream. Thank you, brothers. Look after yourselves. Peace out.